people. That's like 2 classroom combined, dog.
That's Barry. That's like 7th grade class. That's like a 7th grade class.
They only care about Spider-Man,
junior high school,
Horizon, God of War.
Yeah.
List goes on.
Yeah,
but
right?
Not Sackboy. Ain't nobody don't want to play no Sackboy.
Right, Barry? That's just like 1 grade class in a New York City high school.
But it's like the reality is that not every game is gonna get the same attention.
Yeah,
so
it's just how
like
it is,
it's cool that they released it, but obviously Spider-Man and Uncharted will sell a lot more.
Exactly.
But to be honest with you, I think Sackboy is a shocker that it's not selling like that, because Little Big Planet, where it comes from, is a big seller for PlayStation.
Yeah,
PS3.
that's so. What I agree.
I think it would have sold more if Little Big Planet itself was on PC.
I think Little Big Planet is one of those, like when it first came out, Little Big Planet was a big deal, right? But I don't think Little Big Planet is a type of franchise that can have longevity like Mario.
Nope.
It's like one of those, the first 2 or 3 games, you're going to have big success, but then after that, it fizzles out. You're not going to get, it's not like Mario.
It's
where
like
you're
dreams.
Yeah, it's like, it might be great the first, the second, maybe even a third, but you're not going to have perpetual generational success with that game. Sackboy's not that character. It's not Mario.
Can you build a Sackboy? Can you do like Little Bit Planet stuff?
I don't know.
Or no?
I ain't touching that.
No, it's more like an adventure.
It's just a story. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Now, if Sony would have treated Sackboy like Mario, what I mean by I don't know. It's just, Sackboy's just not Mario. It's not a franchise where it could be perpetually successful generation after generation.
When people see the Sackboy, they think of Little Big Planet. And when they saw Sackboy not being that, it might still be a good game, but it's like it's not the game that made that character what it is.
Yeah,
Sackboy Big Adventure is pretty much Mario 64. That's in the PlayStation 5 version of it.
Pretty much, but it's not Mario.
And then LBP 3, the Little Bit Planet 3 was made by a different studio, so it didn't have that same flavor, that same oomph that the 1 and 2 had.
Okay. Yeah, so hold on.
I like Little Big Planet 3, but yeah, it was definitely the same people that made Sackboy that made Super Digital.
Okay. So
I really liked the first game when they had the Metal Gear Solid DLC. That was dope.
Yep.
All right, so
I was buying mad DLC with Little Big Planet. I bought like every costume in that joint.
They were ahead of its time, bro, making user generated content on console.
So, yeah, it was technically. Like I said, man, when you think about it, some of the games that Sony made were ahead of its time and on the wrong platform.
Yep.
They were on the wrong platform, wrong time on the network. Like a lot of those ideas, if they were implemented today, I think they would be huge. Like the user-generated content. Like if Little Big Planet was brand new, fresh idea for the PS5, if Mag would have been a brand new, fresh idea for the PS5 and the network that the way it is now and all the advantages the network have, I think Resistance would have been a much bigger title now. I think a lot of games that were on the PS3 were just literally a gen or two ahead of its time.
Yep.
And it just couldn't grow. They just I think the network and the platform, the timing of the platform is what held those game backs, vice versa. I think Resistance, like right now, like for was probably the best out of the 3.
Oh, because I think your mic went off.
You can hear me now? Hello?
Can you hear him, Barry?
I'm out.
I can't hear him.
Hold up.
Yeah. Your mic went off.
Hold on. Hello? Okay. You hear me?
There you go.
All right. Yeah. Well, I heard you. Once you said I can't hear him, I'm like, wait up. What was the last thing I said?
You were talking about how the games are ahead of its.
Oh yeah, so ahead of its time, right? I use Resistance as an example. For Resistance 2, think about it. It had a great story campaign, right? Co-op, its own separate co-op campaign that you actually could think about it. When you think about it, right? In a very amateur light way, Resistance Co-op was kind of like Destiny. Now, hear me out. You had individual classes, right? And each class, as you gain experience, as you keep playing, grind to gain more abilities, right? More capabilities, so you could progress through the game and beat it. Granted, it was just a small sample, but when you think of the concept of Destiny and Resistance 2 co-op, you had 3 different classes and you need each class, right? You had the gunner class with the shield, you had the marksman, and then you had the healer, right? And then as you kept playing the game and grind, you unlock more abilities, right? Which made the level easier, and then ultimately you face a boss or whatever. So in a very like visionary way, you can technically say that's like a foundation of what we're doing today, which is, you know, the live service, you know, you know, whatchamacallit, looter shooter type shit, right?
I didn't play Resistance that much, but it sounds like it'll be a really good
And it was
co-op live service game.
Yeah, and it was 8-player co-op. You're right. So shout out to her, Rich. It was 8 players, so you actually had a team and you're doing all this stuff, right? But that shit was ahead of its time.
Like Mag is still unique today. There's no game like Mag.
Yeah, let's
like
not
you could
even
say
get into
Battlefield,
Mag.
but not really.
Yeah,
there's games like that on PC, but they're only PC games, like a Squad. That's not on console.
Yeah,
we need a Mag.
Just the amount of people they try to do, and what was cool was each faction was unique. So it wasn't like, all right, I got this faction, but I'm using the same weapons as everybody else. Like everything had a unique feel. So you really put your identity behind this faction. You know what I mean? So it was
they all had their flavor, their bias. So they all used their own guns, their own technology. It was all different. Yeah, and you can swap between them in the menu.
All right, cool. All right. So hey man, shout out to everybody. What's going on, chat? Welcome my friends, my family, and fellow gamers. It's your only friend these YouTube streets, Folllow, and we are back with another 60 frames, no lag podcast. I have no idea what episode this is. So it is what it is. We just keep it going. It's perpetual. We will always be here, you know. I want to introduce the panel who we got here today. Shout out to my boy, the president, the king of PlayStation podcasting, Jay Barry. What's going on?
Yo, man, what is good, man? Listen, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one today, man. You know what I mean? Nothing can stop the God of War hype. Yeah, I need to chill out. Calm the fuck down. You know what I mean?
Ragnarok is coming. Ragnarok is coming.
I apologize for cursing, but yo,
speak from the heart. Down. Speak if it's in the heart. Speak it. If that's what's in your heart, speak it. You know what I'm saying?
It's coming, bro. Even in Puerto Rico, it's freezing here.
That's
in Puerto
it,
Rico.
man.
It's coming.
The tundra is here. All right.
And before
the tundra is here.
You know, introduce the next person out of Warfare 2. It's dog shit.
Oh shit! It's dog shit. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Got the Xbox stench, as you call it. All right.
Absolutely got that stench all over it. That's missing shit. It's Halo Infinite, 1-on-1, missing shit.
Yeah.
All right.
It's missing
you
a
know
lot
what I mean?
shit.
But best selling game, but missing shit. I find it funny that everybody's so critical when it comes to $70 games, when it comes to other games. If a game is performing bad, oh, this is not worth $70. If a game is doing this, it's not worth $70. But Modern Warfare 2 missing the most basic of shits in that game, and nobody want to say it's not worth $70. That multiplayer is hot garbage, and most of y'all are trash anyway in the game.
Oh, snap.
Sorry.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
My bad, yo. Somebody told me I can't talk about Call of Duty.
Oh shit.
And I was like, what the which Twilight Zone you in? I can't talk about Call of Duty. Sit your ass down.
Did
man.
you play
I have
it?
never heard you talk about Call of Duty in all the years I've been on this damn social media, and you got the audacity tell me I can't speak on Call of Duty.
Did you
because
play
they're
it?
missing basic
But you
shit,
didn't
and
play
you claim
it.
that you having fun with your bum ass.
But you
sit
didn't
your ass
play
down
it.
somewhere. Man.
That's what they say.
I'm sorry.
Is that what they're
They're just
telling
having
you?
fun with their friends. All right, let them have fun with their friends.
I'm enjoying it. All right, stream it then. Let me see what you enjoying. Oh, man.
I say that all the time, bro. I see them talking shit.
My bad,
like,
call me Jay. You know the vibe.
Put a stream up. I want to see you play. I want to see how you play, bro. There's there's a guy that I watched that he was like,
but did you play it?
Saying,
That's
did you play it? Stop camping. And the guy was like, shut the fuck up. Let me play, dude. Put a stream up. Let's see how you play.
All right.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
funny.
All right. Call me Jay. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, man? What's up? Thank you for having me. Like Jay Barry said, it's going to be a good one. A lot of fun topics. Interesting topics.
Yeah, I'm going to be throwing topics out there because a lot of info just came out. Like, yo, we got overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, shit. But we do.
What's funny?
I will address something, but go ahead. Keep going.
Well, no, I was gonna say, it's like it's kind of funny that every time that we start 60 frames no lag. We're always talking about live service games on PlayStation like Mag and Resistance.
Yeah, just, I mean, I do like
like
to see it come back. I would like to see it to see how it is, man. But anyway, how you been, brother?
Thank you for having me.
Good.
I've been good. Good. Yeah, just working, playing.
That's it.
And now here
and paying bills. Work, bills, play, and repeat. All right. And then of course we got the voice of Xbox, the Messiah, who's muted.
He's running. He's eating again.
Oh, how's everybody going?
Oh, how you doing, my brother?
How you doing?
Top flight security of the world, Craig. I haven't said that in a long time.
I know, been a while.
Yeah,
I'm doing all right. Shout out to the panel in the chat, and I can stay for a little bit. Right. I got to get up early. I'm orientating people. All right. Job, OTJ.
Shut up in there.
That's the problem. What did Commander Shepard say? Respect, and you end up with a lot of sleepless nights.
All right. Awesome. All right. Shout out. All right. No doubt. Hey, thank you. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the people showing up, to the supporters. Shout out OIC Gaming Persona, the other half of the Kings of PlayStation Podcasting. Hey, Persona, if you have time, jump in. Because there's a members topic I want to bring up. And I also like your viewpoint on it. But let me address something. So the first of the month, I got this. I'm copying off of the Kings of PlayStation. Naturally, PlayStation, we copy the best ideas. So why wouldn't I, right? We copy the best ideas. But I'm going to dedicate the first podcast of every month to the members. So, so far, on Saturday, I posted specifically to the channel members to ask your questions, right? I don't know if you received the notification or not. You ignored it. I don't know. But just in case, that's what I will do the Saturday prior to the first Tuesday of the month, right? And what it is that's where you're going to post your questions, and then that gives the members opportunity to answer them. So I only received one question for one member, the Brain. Shout out to the Brain. I know he's asking, what are the topics? Brother man, your topic will be discussed as promised, right? But there's a couple of things I want to mention. So if you notice on my little, comment that's pinned, some of you who just recently joined probably can't chat right now. It's probably blocked. I set the chat to only allow people to write comments in the chat that have been subscribers 30 days or more. This is temporary.
Okay.
This is temporary. The only reason why is because I'm trying to prevent from any asshole to jump in, subscribe for 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden they type in a spoiler for God of War. So the only way,
there you go.
The only way in this chat someone could spoil God of War is if you've been a subscriber for over 30 days. And then at that point, I'm like, man, you guys really want to be assholes. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what's good?
Oh shit, Persona. You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
I play
with my friends. Yo, I was dying in the faces today. Yo, I had to stop because I'm at work and I'm like, and when you have a Marine like holding his mouth laughing and people are like, what the fuck? Like, what's so funny? I'm like, nothing. I'm like, I gotta hop out. He's like, but I'm playing with my friends. I'm like, oh shit, Persona at it again, yo. I was dying. I'm like, yo, this space is crazy.
Oh, man.
Yo, thank you, Persona, for hopping on. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor and pleasure on having the two members of the best PlayStation podcast on YouTube. So I'm very honored by your presence. I got the dynamic duo up in here. But to go on to what I was saying, there's some true fuckboys in this community. And you know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to do is make sure somebody doesn't get in the chat and boom, put a spoiler out for God of War. So for this podcast and the next podcast, this one and next Tuesday, it's going to be blocked to subscribers that have been subscribed for over 30 days. After the game comes out, it's already been 4 or 5 days, and then at that point, it'll go back to just the 2-minute wait period.
Yo, low key, that's why I didn't stream, because like today I could have streamed instead of doing a space. Yeah. But I didn't stream just because of that reason as well. Yeah. So as far as people that's coming in and posting shit.
Yeah. So that's why
no cap. I'm a little bit worried too, man, because I was gonna do a When Persona Speaks later.
So so in the YouTube when you start your thing, you can select
Yeah, you can
who
just
can
put
chat.
subscriber only. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well, you already got it to sub only, but that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah,
to
so
have
yeah,
it like 30 days.
Yeah, so I put subscribers, changed it to days, and I put 30.
Yeah.
But I got to, and I know that's probably gonna that's inconvenient to some of the members who subscribed over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But I hope you understand. I hope you guys understand. I just don't want my podcast to contribute to these fuckboys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this podcast next week. After that, we'll go back to the normal 2-minute, wait period and stuff like that. And that's it. Okay. So we're gonna kick off the members question. It's really just one. Hopefully it'll get bigger. Hopefully more members will subscribe. But this is from the Brain. He says, PS5 Pro speculation. And it's absurdity premature to bring that to market since PS5 have yet to be widespread. Additionally, since we are dealing with inflation and an economic downturn. Lastly, the PS4 Pro 4, the PS4 Pro, and the Xbox One X did not contribute greatly to the overall sales number. It seems it's not worth it, at least not yet. All right, so we'll start out with Craig. What do you think about that? How do you feel Sony attempting on the PS5 Pro, and what do you think it could bring to the table that actually makes it worth it as compared to the PS4 Pro?
Well, again, worth is objective and subjective. Okay. It's coming.
You saying it's happening?
Yeah, it's coming. Whether you determine it has value is up to you as a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, what is it going to bring? My understanding is Sony is going to be making 8K televisions, and if they don't already have them out now,
Craig,
and it will be able to target that, and it'll really help with VR as well. So I'll have to get a little more information on it, but it's going to be a powerful device. Whether they do a Pro or it's just they may hold off it'll be a PlayStation 6. We'll have to wait. My understanding is it will be digital, and that you could go out, and if you want physical copies, don't feel bad because I'm a physical guy myself. They will sell an extension or something like that, some type of BD drive that you can hook into it. That's kind of the scuttlebutt on it.
So 8K, Craig?
If Sony makes 8K TVs, they'll make a peripheral device to show that off. So have to wait and see.
We could barely get consistent native 4K 60.
Well, you'll have that with another device, won't you?
If you can get native 8K on a console, don't be complaining about price.
You ain't getting no native 8K. That shit ain't happening. That shit ain't happening.
We'll have to wait and see. Isn't there 1 or 2 8K games? They look kind of corny.
Yeah, but that's indie shit.
But yeah, just have to wait and see. I mean, you could if you had an 8K TV now, and it will dynamically, whatever you have on the screen will try to dynamically upscale. I don't care if you're projecting out at 1080, but we'll have to wait and see.
Checkerboard 8K? That's what we doing?
Checkerboard.
We already got checkerboard 8K? God damn.
It's coming. As far as inflation is concerned, the way you combat inflation is you work more. These companies don't care about your wallet.
So we got to work 2 jobs?
Yeah, you may have to. Well, what did they say? They said that about the PS3, didn't they? It's so good that you got to work an extra job. So,
shit,
but yeah, just people
we
back.
This is 2006 all over again, man.
Yeah, but now people got to get over it. Nobody cares.
No, we ain't trying to get over it.
If they doing 8K, don't complain about pricing because right now, like a 4080 is $1,600 just for the graphic card, and that's just outputting 4K. Right. 60 at native like steadily.
All right.
So
it's
just to see a console.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be native. Even right now, the PS5, it claims it can do 8K, but that's more like probably like movies or I don't think that's anything video game. Maybe there is like an indie game.
That's like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes any difference, the movie Top Gun was filmed with Sony cameras at 6K. So if that makes to say that the technology is going to keep progressing as far as people's wallets, that's a personal problem at this point. You just got to get your money up. It's expensive, and get your money up. And if you can't afford it, then wait for a sale.
This dude is like Dave Chappelle. He's like, hide the money, y'all. We got broke people around here. Damn, Craig. All right.
Yeah.
Let me move on to the dynamic duo. You know what I'm saying? You know, the two lords of PlayStation podcasting, Jay Barry and Persona. We'll start with Persona. What did you think about this? What do you think of Sony possibly attempting a PS5 Pro? Do you think is needed? Was a good idea? Do you think it's a waste of time? Like, what's your whole view on this?
So
It's just your opinion.
It's my opinion. So that's a great question too. Shout out to your member that asked that.
The brain, bro. The brain.
Yeah, so I think in this day and age, I think if we were talking PlayStation 4 generation, the disparity between a PS4 native and or OG PS4 and PS4 Pro, it was a bit different just because you were getting like better resolution. You know, more games probably could get like a 60 frames and things like that. I think when we're talking a PS5 Pro, because the PS4 is capable of doing more games at 60 frames per second, I don't think a PS5 Pro would necessarily impact the sales or fragment the market like how people thought the PS4 Pro would, because we see that the PS5 is very capable of doing most, if not all, games with developers who actually who implement it can do 60 frames. So I think as long as that is maintained, I don't see a PS5 Pro being a monkey wrench in the overall success of a PlayStation 5. Okay. I think with a PlayStation 5 Pro, you know, I think we start getting a little bit closer to that PC territory of like, okay, well, on PS5 Pro, you can do 1440p 120 frames or stuff like that because it's got the more power. So I think in terms of that, I get that, but as long as the base PS5 can do 60 frames and it has some sort of performance mode, I don't see a PS5 Pro being an issue. Plus, you know, it would be slimmer, I would hope, and you know, I definitely want a slimmer console. I want to see what they do with that.
Watch it be bigger. You're like, holy shit.
Adding to what he said about the slimness, the latest revision of the PS5 is already very slim. They just kept the same chassis.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. I don't think the chassis is ever going to change, in my opinion.
So the motherboard itself is like 20% smaller. It's very, very small compared to the launch
only reason
one.
why I'm saying I don't think the chassis is going to change is because of the plates.
Yeah, no, I think the plates, but I also think with the PS5 digital, I think that's ultimately what the PS5 Slim would look like with the disc.
Okay, is
like, you know, they figured out a way to kind of house all of that into there. But I know there was also reports about a removable disc tray and all that, like some type of interchangeable,
modular,
modular. Very modular. So I feel like, you know, that also might be something that they do as well.
Okay. All right, good to go. All right, Jay Barry, the other half of the dynamic duo. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm all for it, man.
Oh shit!
I mean,
Jay Barry's like, give me power.
Yeah, I felt like you know, in the day and age that we live in, technology moving much faster than, you know, the previous generations of consoles. And the PC market has been growing and growing and growing, and really and truly, it's not just consoles competing with consoles now. It's consoles competing with consoles and PC. So if you want to, you know, keep everything fresh and you want to keep everything new and up to date, you're going to have those refreshes coming, you know, in the 3 years or the 4 years or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't mind it. I think it'll be actually smart, in my opinion, where you will have the two options, and that's the only thing I can see an issue with when it comes to the refreshing is how developers feel about it, right? Because we see something with how you have two different hardwares with the Xbox, and we see some developers come out and talk about that, right? Where they say, "Oh, we got developed for the Series S, and then we got to develop for the Series X." You know, if PlayStation does a refresh, you're gonna have that similar, you know, conversation where you got the base PlayStation and then the PlayStation 5 Pro, and yeah, that's where the developer is gonna probably develop for, that PlayStation 5 Pro. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I just feel like if you're competing with like the PC market of things,
But are they?
As that market grows, you're gonna have to refresh your hardware or make the generations of consoles shorter.
Are they competing with PC now though?
I think so.
It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it though, to be honest. I mean, I'll be honest, man. I wouldn't be surprised if our shows start including PC talk. I would. Be,
No,
I would.
mean, like,
I would like. I would be honest.
I think you always compete with PC because as PC, that platform is growing as people is leaving console gaming and going straight to PC. That's taking away money from PlayStation. That's why you see these guys making these moves of putting their games on PC so they can have some type of footprint there. But at the end of the day, they don't want to lose the console sale as well, just due to power. That's the same reason why they made the PlayStation 4 Pro. Remember when
that was the
Andrew House?
And he said that.
He came out and was like, yo, we compete with PC.
He said that in for VR as well. So he said he was noticing how people were leaving because the PS4 was just too weak for games. So he wanted to make something that would be more 4K, 1440p-ish, so that they stick around more.
So I remember those articles, and I will be honest. For a time, I believed in that because I kind of understood the logic. Wait a minute, the way Sony makes money is through their console because you got PSN subscription that's not on PC, right? The peripherals specifically for PlayStation, like there's so many things that are specific to the console that they don't get revenue off the PC, and they definitely want third party to be bought on PlayStation. Because if third parties bought on PC, then that's really Valve through Steam getting the money or Epic Game Store. So money-wise, I understood. I'm like, yeah, Sony's going to focus on a console because that's where all the money is. But let me ask you this. Don't you think that things like putting their top games on PC, and I think we all saw how everything went, it's just going to be the oldest. Well, it's only going to be 3 years. And now they're saying, no less than 1 year. And then we're saying, well, they're in their multiplayer. Don't you think those things help people?
That was always the plan. Like, yeah, I feel like that was always the plan, though. And people were just, even myself at a point was like, nah, they would never do that. Yeah. But, now we see what's going on now. It's a part of their whole strategy.
Yeah, but don't you think those little strategies kind of help people? Kind of like edges people towards PC? Maybe not all the console gamers. But the guys who are tiptoeing on that line, Sony's kind of helping push them over the edge with those little things. Don't you think?
Well, I think when Andrew House and team and the old regime was in power over there at PlayStation, I do legit believe that the strategy was to get people from PC to PlayStation. Yeah. But I think being able to keep up with the power of a PC, PlayStation can't really, they can't do that without overcharging in the console market. And we already know how detrimental that could be with looking at the PlayStation 3 generation. So I think instead of trying to pull PC players over there, I think they just, once the new regime came in, they saw that it probably would be more lucrative to just include PC in their strategy of growing the PlayStation brand. Because when you look at the PC strategy, it's not its own thing. It's all under the PlayStation umbrella. So I think with Herman Hulst and Jim Ryan, they're looking at the future of PlayStation and they're including PC in that future because whatever residuals they're getting from the sales on that goes back into the actual overall brand.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Good point. All right. We're going to go with Call Me Jay. What do you think about this PS5 Pro? What's your opinion on any attempts of that?
At first, I was I've said this ever since the PS5 came out that a PS5 Pro is very likely to happen due to just how overblown the power for the PS5 and the Series X is compared to their last gen counterparts at that time when it came out. So, but I agree with Jay Barry's sentiment on it being like 4 to 5 years apart for whenever games start hitting that ceiling, because although so another thing I want to mention about the power and competing with PCs, I agree more with Proto Rock than with Jay Barry because even though they are somewhat competing with PCs, majority of PC gamers don't really have a PC a specs that can match the PS5. Even some of them the Series S, honestly. So when it comes to like hardware specs, the PS5 is like beating out a lot of PC gamers computers already. So and a lot of games on PS5, from what I've seen from Digital Foundry and such, are hitting 4K, are hitting 60 FPS, are hitting 1440p. They have the new technologies for like FSR to upscale the image and so on. So more and more, ever since the very beginning of the generation, I've said that they don't really need to make a refresh. The only reason why they made a refresh for the PS4 is because even when it came out, it was already outdated. It was a CPU processor. Even though this is still technically a CPU processor, it's one made more for gaming and for a gaming console. Whereas that one was just basically, they took a laptop chip and they modified it to work on the console well. So I would say in about 4 or 5 years, we could see a refresh to keep up with the developers' demands. Because although the console is very powerful, you already see with the Plague Tale, they are pushing not pushing the boundaries, but pushing the tech so hard that they can't even hit 60 FPS on those games. So they have to cap it at 30 or 40 if you're running at 120. So yeah, I see it coming, but not a lot of developers are going to be going for that 30 FPS route, in my opinion, due to how much people in Twitter and in gaming in general are just so used to seeing numbers and seeing the smoothness of 60 FPS in games that going back to 30 is going to be a little jarring. So there's going to be a lot of outcry. So we're at minimum, we're going to see a lot of games at 60 FPS. So yeah, that's my opinion.
All right. So before I give my input, let me just hit up. Appreciate Jay Barry out here. He gifted 5 memberships. So I hope you guys enjoy that memberships. And then please use it. So when we go to next month, ask your questions. I would love to hear what you want us to talk about. True Virgil, he says Craig's B-52 is checkerboard.
There's one more thing I wanted to mention that I kind of forgot, is that when people are going from console to PC, it's not just for games. There's a lot more to it because PC just has more freedom. I literally have 2 monitors right now. I can use whatever controller I want. I can have Discord, Spotify, a game, Chrome open. You can't do all that stuff on a console. You could, but Sony's not going to let you because they would have to change so much of their operating system to handle that. So it's not just about the games when it comes to someone moving from a console to PC. It's if they want to do those extra things that they can do smoothly on a PC, whereas on the console they would need their phone always in hand or an iPad or something.
PC's ass, call me Jay, man. It's all right.
I agree.
PC's ass.
Oh yeah, that's
do the water, man.
And then Post likes 3-inch strudel. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This guy, he said, what PC only bangers you playing on PC, Barry? So what PC only banger you playing, Barry?
The only game I'm really playing so far has been Spider-Man Remastered. Real talk. Oh nah, and Gundam Evolution. I think that game is pretty fun.
All right.
I think that game pretty fun. It's a fighting game that Square Enix like published as well. It's called like Million Author. I forgot the name. Million Author something Blood something. And that game pretty cool. I always have that downloaded. Nobody really play online, so you can't really get matches like that per se, but still a fun game to play. That's pretty much. I restarted Final Fantasy 13 as well on PC.
All right.
That's pretty much it.
All right. And Post likes 3-inch strudel once again. He says we don't have true next gen games, but we want more power? ?
You do have true next gen.
I mean, they're just answering the question. Honestly,
it's not our fault. That's the topic.
I mean, we have games with ray tracing. You have games using FSR 2.0.
Are we using full RDNA 2.0?
They're talking about,
or is it 1.5?
I think they're asking the question more so about graphical power, which there are some, but not a lot of games like that. But features like RTX and FSR are just features. That's it. Any game can get those if they implement them well. But I feel like it's more like that. It's like that Unreal Engine demo that we saw a while ago. There's a few games that are similar to that quality, mostly from PlayStation, but there's not a lot.
All right, but that game was
but we're already seeing. I mean, I kind of get what he's saying, but at the same time, when we look at the games that are coming out, so again, Horizon Forbidden West, which even though that's a cross-gen game, my God, is that game amazing?
Right.
Like it oozes that next gen which makes it kind of hypocritical when you're like, oh, I want more next gen experiences. But I think when we're speaking on those next gen only experiences, I personally think I'm more so looking at third party because and I'll use Gotham Knights as an example. As fun as that game is, and I love that game, nothing about that game is next gen for it to be a next gen only title. So I think with PlayStation, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16, 2023 is going to be a next gen heavy year for PlayStation and their exclusives and third party third party deals. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of those next year. But what about third party? Are they also going to be doing that too?
Call me Jay. Yeah, I agree. And call me Jay. The Epic demo was in 1440p.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the resolution. It could be 720p, but if it was pushing the system so hard that it's 720p, it's still technically a next gen because they're doing things like you couldn't do before.
And it was 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they were considering that a next gen, probably because of the way the technology worked. Is that what you think they were?
Yes, the technology.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm saying. That's what
you can't render that. If you put that demo on PS4, it'll blow up. Even at 540p, it'll just blow up.
Yeah, and even a game with the rats, it's 30 frames, but they added more assets. Then they put more rats on the screen.
Yeah, so the rats is like it was like 3,000 on the first game, and this is like 300,000, something like that.
Oh shit!
It was something ridiculous.
That's a lot of rats.
But I'm just saying, I just think a lot of people. Yes, a lot of rats. Yeah, Ratatouille. I'm just thinking it just sounds like a lot of people were. It just sounds like they were wanting the moon, and you got to give the devs time to get there. Mm-hmm. I think they will, but yeah, Spider-Man is 60 frames per second with ray tracing on a console. That is, no pun intended, amazing.
Oh yeah.
So So and it looks
even though you had to take off like 90% of New York City. That shit actually Spider-Man looked like New York City on COVID.
No.
Wait. I heard that was a bug.
That shit. Jay Barry, Persona Jim, you know what I'm talking about. That shit, Barry. That shit was dead as fuck.
I heard that was a bug.
During the lockdown.
The guy switched back to fidelity and then back to ray tracing, and the city was populated. So I think it's a bug.
Could be. I'm not sure.
Well, on PC or on console?
On console.
Yeah, he was. I was playing. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody here. Who the fuck is Spider-Man saving? Ain't nobody up in this bitch. What I was doing.
Yeah. So A Plague Tale: Innocence, which is the first game, had 5,000 rats, and this one has 300,000. So that sort of tells you how much they can put on screen.
Yeah, and real time. Correct. I've literally, when this stuff was coming out, I was like, you're gonna get games at 60. You're gonna get high to ultra graphics. That's gonna be your big change. So you're going to get the VRR, you're going to get 120 possible with the hertz and everything. So you're going to have better frame rates. You'll have more open frame rate games. So and we're just at the beginning, guys. These consoles are 2 years old.
It doesn't feel like the beginning, though. It
feels
like I'm waiting, bro.
2 years old.
Yeah, I agree with Persona. I agree with Persona's sentiment because he's like, first party is just first party, but we really want to see next gen from third party. That's what I want to see more of.
That's fair. I think that's a fair.
They're just gonna give you Division 3 and fucking Just Cause 9. And shit.
Yeah, but I think when people like try to badmouth like that, I think they're inadvertently talking about third party.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because they're the one,
right?
Yeah, the third party is the majority here, and we're not really seeing a lot of that.
Yeah,
at least not in the majority.
And because third party is the biggest, they release so much content. But when you're constantly pushing out content that's like not next gen, you're like, holy shit! Like, come on, man, can somebody?
All right, but you all were talking about the Activision game, the Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare 2. I've had people emailing me saying that's the best looking game they've ever seen in their lives.
Nah,
I mean, I don't know. I haven't played it.
You hang out with too many dudes that are mental, bro. Like, who are you talking to?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Like,
I haven't played it yet, so I can't. I'm just saying that's what they were telling me. I haven't played it yet. I haven't called into B2 yet.
Yeah, oh shit. Braxton Bow, thank you for the super chat. He says, in my opinion, Sony PS5 isn't being fully utilized until first party stops designing around cross-gen. They need to make games with the PS5 full specs in mind. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see why people would understand that. But it's
And that's from the ground up.
Yeah,
That's from the
ground
ground
you're
up
talking
too.
about ground up, so
Because if you were making a game, you can push it on PS5 by putting more particles, more resolution. But like making it from the ground up, from the first draft on PS5, that'll be a completely different experience.
Yeah, I'm
all
sorry.
right, so you're talking about games like when Insomniac says they're doing like Wolverine ground up.
Yeah, from the ground. I mean, from the
stuff like that.
from the moment they're in the toilet thinking about what game they want to make, that shit better be PS5 in mind. From the moment they're taking a shit.
See, but my thing too, man, is like, yo, this community is kind of weird to me.
Why? What's up?
And because they'll say they want these next gen experiences, but then they'll also cry that a game is $70. Like, we're still getting those type of conversations that's happening, and I'm like, okay, well, you want this, but you're not willing to pay for it, or you want an attack on a multiplayer to justify the price, and I'm like, every game's not going to do that. So either you want the higher quality experience, or you don't.
I think ultimately, man, I think we're so used to people want to. I noticed something, and maybe I'm slow to notice it, but I'm just noticing people love just to be or to proclaim victimized on the internet. It's a weird, it's a weird attitude, but people want to feel wronged, and they're gonna make the point like, no, we were wronged, and I'm like, nah, like on a separate topic, and I don't want this topic to take over, but like the whole, you know, this dude's not gonna be the Witcher no more. He's not gonna be Geralt, right? And everybody's like, oh my God, it's the writer's fault. They didn't listen to Henry Cavill. And I'm thinking, what if the bag for Superman was just too big and he doesn't have room or time to keep making Witcher? Because you can only do so much stuff. So maybe, you know, and when you think of the money, if DC's really, I mean, they just got James Gunn. So now apparently he's taking over DCEU. So if they really want this to blow up like, you know, like Marvel, you got to put in time. Right?
Yeah.
That's why this dude who did Tony Stark and this dude that did Iron Man, they purposely wrote off the characters because they got tired. I mean, this dude who did Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., he did that shit for 10 years. At a certain point, it's like, yo, like, kill me. I'm done.
He made 80 million off of in-game alone.
You see what I'm saying?
So,
you see what I'm saying? So
he's also got producer credits on all the films moving forward.
But imagine if Henry Cavill is about to do what Robert Downey did and invest like 10 years of his life. He can only do so much stuff. He can't like do it all. And especially if he still wants to make room. And you know these actors, they're what's the professional name? Thespians. They're thespians. So obviously they want to do indie movies and, you know, for the art, right? Well, they can't do all that. And then, you know, so at certain things, something's got to be chopped off at the wood, right? So I made an example of like, hey, maybe he just doesn't want to do it because he's going to be real busy. And then maybe he wants to put whatever time he does have left to new stuff. Oh no, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about, Puerto Rock. I'm like, oh shit, like you guys really want to be mad. Like you guys don't, like, yo, it's crazy. But anyway, Rocky Balboa,
did an interview talking about that as well.
Yes, but like the interviews was like, how old is the interview? Because people told me about the interviews, but they're linking articles to like a year ago or whatever. I'm like, all right.
No, these are like recent, like as in like the last 2 weeks or so, where he was talking about how, you know, he worked for years to get Henry Cavill to come back. So, you know.
For DC. For DC.
Yeah, for DC.
Oh, yeah.
Man of Steel, with Man of Steel 2 happening. And then obviously he's also going to be in Black Adam 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the bag is something crazy.
Yes.
So I would have left The Witcher as well. Fuck
yes,
that.
because Henry Cavill did not like the direction of DCU. So however they changed their mind, probably included lots of money. And
Dwayne Johnson changed their mind.
Dwayne Johnson, and you know, if Dwayne Johnson, that's like, if there's one dude who blew up big and make lots of money, that dude probably went in and probably saw the whole DCU, and he probably put his 2 cents in it. Like, hey,
we
got to do something different.
Well, no, what happened is Persona's right. And Cavill and The Rock, they use a lot of the same people behind the scenes. So, it was just natural. But yeah, Dwayne Johnson right now is the biggest star in Hollywood right now. So if he wanted to get something done, and he literally came out and said the old guys at DC, all the ones that got fired, Walter Hamada and all those guys, they're gone. Because like you said, they just got James Gunn and a couple other people. So those guys didn't want Kevin back, but the new guys, they want him.
And they got him.
Want him. And they got him. So like I said, The Witcher will be fine. That'll be fine with Hemsworth in it. Yeah. So it won't.
I ain't too crying about that. I mean, I like the show, but anyway.
Yeah,
so my whole point is, there's a lot of victimization. So to Persona's point, if you really notice the $70 outside of Twitter, look at some of the biggest games that are selling are $70. The Maddens, that didn't slow down Madden. That didn't slow down 2K. Hell, that shit, the $70 didn't even slow down Modern Warfare 2 on PC. And that shit's $70. Mm-hmm. So the reality is, yeah, you know what I'm saying? All this bullshit, man. I'm done talking about that. I'm like, man, shut
in
your
the
ass
real
up.
world. In the real world, when you see $70, at the worst you're gonna get from someone is like, well, shit. Guess I'm gonna buy it. That's it. That's the worst you're gonna get from
I ain't
them.
even stressing that shit, man. Get out of here. If you don't want it, don't buy it. If you like it, I love it. This
like
whatever.
Said.
I ain't dealing with that shit no more.
It's the Twitterverse.
It's fake.
People on Twitter,
it's fake as hell.
And on the comments on YouTube and such, they just want to be outraged for anything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If the person goes, I ain't paying $70, I'll just be like, let me see a game of tag. They disappear. So I ain't gotta deal with that conversation no more. Shout out to Rocky Balboner. Oh boy.
Oh God.
Jesus. Like, what's up, P Rock? Been a long time. What you mean by that? Been a long time. What you trying to say, dog? Shout out.
With that type of name,
I don't know, bro.
What's going on, P-Rock? What's going on?
I don't know what's going on here, man. Like, whoa,
like
there's some sus shit going on up in this podcast.
He got to throw another super chat explaining that.
Like,
yo, why you getting red though? Why you getting red? I'm seeing you on the stream.
Like, my man's gonna be like, hey, like, whoa, like, whoa, like, now what's up? But yeah, here's my thought on the PS5, and I'm gonna kind of touch to what Call Me Jay said. So he mentioned in about 4 or 5 years. To me, the PS5 Pro, if Sony's seriously considering this, right? And you think about, you're gonna have to get semiconductors, hardware. Are they easily gonna be able to get, the components in a timely manner to produce enough? How will this impact how much silicon they need for PS5? Things like that. In my opinion, if Sony pushes for PS5 Pro, I think it will probably be to extend this current generation, to make this generation longer, to give developers more time to make more games, right? Because this is new hardware, new stuff. Games are taking longer to make, right? So if it takes longer to make a game, then what do you need to do in order for a publisher or developer to make more games? Either A, you buy more studios, or you extend the life of the generation to have time to release more games within the generation. So kind of like what Call Me Jay says, if they decide to release a Pro, let's say within at least 3 years, let's say no sooner than 3 years, you're talking 2025. Technically speaking, the next generation should start in 2027. But let's say if Microsoft and Sony don't want that to happen. Let's say they don't want the next generation to start till 2030 because they want their developers to have more time to actually, they don't want a studio that only release one game for the entire gen. They want at least maybe 2 or 3 games, at least 2 games. But in order to have 2 games, you're either going to have to deal with cross-gen on the back end, or we need more time this gen. So let's say Microsoft or Sony decides, we're going to create a Pro, another version of Pro to make consumers happy on having more power, but technically it's still PS5. Because in reality, like the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, while they're, iterative, upgrades, they're still working on the base tools and stuff like that. So while that could mask the, we got more powerful hardware, maybe now you'll get native 4K 60 with ray tracing, and you don't have to worry about native 4K 40 120. Maybe now you can actually get 1440p at 120 frames. Those things that could get some gamers that really want more power happy and not so mad that the generation's been extended to 2030. I think that would be the only logical sense, because it doesn't make logical sense if you're going to start the generation 2027, because you got to think about it. This console generation started 2020, so logically speaking, about 7 years, if we're going by the previous ones, new consoles should be coming out 2027. So if a PS5 Pro is going to come out and be working,
I think this generation is going to go a little bit longer.
That's what I'm saying. If it's going to go longer, if it's going to go longer, which I think so too. Let's say 2030. by 2025, 2026, people are going to complain. Like it or not, people are selfish. After 5-6 years, the day one launch adopters, they're going to be the first ones to be like, all right, are we going to get some rumors on new consoles? What's going on? Because, it's 2025, and I'm tired of playing performance mode. I want some native shit. I want some actual native 4K 60. It's 25, it's 2025, 2026. I ain't trying to hear checkerboard 4K 60 performance. What's the new shit? So then that's when Microsoft and Sony be like, bow, the Pro. Oh, cool. I got my native 4K 60. I'm happy. And now you extended the generation by a few more years by releasing those consoles. What you think about that? That the Pro would be a strategic move to extend the generation.
Yeah, like that makes total sense. Games like the simplest way to put it is that games that are 1440p 60 FPS now are going to be 1080p 60 in a couple more years when those newer games that come out, and whatever's 4K 60 will be 1440p 60. And by that time, people like Jay Barry, for example, which he's the one who said about the 3-4 years, by the way.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was you.
He's going to be the one that's going to be like, no, I want 4K 60 on all my shit. So these games that are coming out now on this PS5, let's say in 2-3 years, will be at best 1440p 60, but he wants that 4K 60 or 1440p 120. He's going to get the Pro for that. So it'll be an extension.
Well, I don't think the resolutions will drop on because like when the Pro came out for PlayStation for 4, the PS4 didn't drop in resolution. It still pretty much maintained that 1080p 30 or whatever. It just made.
Yeah, but the reason why I say that is because
I feel like it would be. I feel like it would be weird I feel like it would be weird. Like the reason why I don't think that like people would complain too much is because when we compare the PS4 generation to this generation, one of the biggest problems was that we weren't getting 60 frames. That was one of the biggest problems. Is that PC was getting only 60 frames games, consoles were still very behind. But I think with the hardware that we've got now, if you're able to get 60 frames at 1440p or dynamic 4K or whatever, I feel like most people would be happy as long as there is a performance mode there where they can get a smooth 60 frames and a decent, comparable resolution. I feel like this generation can go the whole 10 years with no one complaining because, I've got 60 frames and I got the 4K ray tracing 30 frames if I wanted that. Okay. But I feel like for most people, they'll be like, all right, cool, because you got the 60 frames is there. That was the biggest problem with consoles.
Exactly.
That, there is no 60 frames as a standard. And I think looking at this generation, we're starting to see that become more and more of a standard now, especially since these consoles are much more capable. Now, when we're looking, if we're trying to compare this to the PC market, and call me Jay, you can speak to this as well, most PC players are playing at 1440p, 200, 120, whatever, anyway. So I feel like if consoles can at least get to that standard, okay. And a lot of people are really doing 1080p, 300 frames or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like 60, 120, as long as those things are somewhere in the mix in this generation, which we're seeing it more consistently, I don't really see that being a major issue throughout the generation.
What I was saying about the games that are now 1440p, then will be 1080p. I mean, like when they start becoming next gen only games and they're pushing the boundaries. What I was saying is that the PS5 will trickle down resolution, but keep that 60 FPS that people have been wanting for so long.
Oh, okay.
Right. And at that point, Jay Barry and Persona, they want that 1440p 120 or that 4K 60 that the PS5 no longer can do, because developers have pushed the graphics and the fidelity so hard that now the best you can get is either 1440p 60 with 1080 120 or 1080p 60, and that's it. So, and those people will still be fine because you're getting the 60 FPS and they're probably playing on a monitor, or they're getting 1440p with FSR. But Jay Barry will get the Pro to get that 4K native.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Bulwark Country, he says, I prefer ray tracing to accelerate image like Returnal ray tracing. Outside ratchet reflections are not necessary. PS Sony clapped DC guy.
What?
PS Sony clap DC guy. Dreamcast guy?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hey yo, all I see on Twitter is that man getting cooked, yo.
Dreamcast guy, what did he do?
I
Yeah,
mean,
because he had a video where he's ripping off his shirt about Activision support, and he's gonna stop supporting Activision because of the whole allegations and the behavior over there.
God,
Then tweeted the other day like he's having a great time with Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
So everybody, all I'm seeing is people like linking his video of him ripping some shirt or something, being upset, and now saying that he's having a good time playing an Activision Blizzard game.
I think people are upset because
He
they had to
also
see.
cooking him because of the God of War thing as well.
What did he say for God of War?
Oh, I see the God of War. What's the God of War?
Because his God of War video got taken down because he posted up a video talking about the leaks.
Oh,
And so they thought that he was actually showing leaks, so they flagged his video.
Oh, he got a strike?
I don't think they gave him a strike, but they did flag his video and let him do that.
All right.
Right. If your title has leaks, you're fucked.
Yeah,
Just don't
because
do
that's
that.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You don't want to talk about leaks like that.
yeah, man. It's funny. We're gonna that's a good segue into the next topic. But before that, Gemini J says games won't be 1080p because Series Potato exists. Man, God, that console.
Listen, let me tell you something about this whole graphics.
That potato.
I think console gamers want better and more improved graphics.
Yeah.
But really and truly, all of that, 1440p, 4K, 60 frame stuff, that came from console gamers that went to PC and came back to consoles and is dictating what consoles should be about. Yeah. Majority of these motherfuckers don't care about none of that bullshit. Yeah. I believe a lot of these executives, when they say they don't care about 60 frames on these consoles, they don't care about all these bullshit these motherfuckers talk about. They just want to make sure the game look pretty and they can run.
So
you know what I mean?
Yep. Good point. Even though it's anecdotal, I did make a tweet showing that God of War has all those 4 performance modes, right? And I just asked the community, hey, what mode you guys are planning to play in? I said I'm going to do it in 4K 40 at the 120 hertz, whatever. But I was surprised at how many people say, nah, I'm sticking with 4K 30 full fidelity. I was like,
I'm saying it.
For God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok. Yeah.
I mean, I see.
With the 60 frame performance option, they're like, nah, chill, son.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, man. It's really weird.
Yeah, they don't care.
Because, like, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because I feel like for action-based games or like FPSs and fighting games, I feel like that's where 60 frames matters most. If I'm playing a turn-based game or something that's a little bit more slower paced, I can deal with the 30. But I also think, especially playing Gotham Knights, my eyes did adjust, man. I'm not gonna cap, man.
The reason why they don't care Persona is because when God of War 2018 came out, what frame rate you was playing in?
30.
Exactly.
Yeah,
majority of these motherfuckers don't care. I'm trying to tell you, they don't care.
Yeah, well, fuck them, man. I'm talking about me, man. I care. I definitely want that stuff to be there. Especially for action games and other games of types of genres.
No, I agree with you 100%, but I'm just talking about the majority of people. Yeah, P-Rock poll was very anecdotal. It's a very small thing.
But I was just surprised how many people admitted in the community they're fine with 4K 30, even though they have the 60 FPS option. I mean, and I'm talking about the guys on the PS5. And I was like,
with games like God of War, 30 FPS is doable, but when you play 60 and it's like a little bit more smoother, more responsive, but you can still play it at 30 if you just want that the higher quality experience. So it's not a deal breaker for this game.
I think
to what Persona said.
Yeah, I think people saying they can't play God of War at 30. I definitely think that's capped, especially if you're someone that came from PS4 to PS5. How the fuck did you play 2018? So I think in that regard, I agree.
Like 4 out of the 5 generations, we've been playing 30 frames.
Yeah,
Stop it.
I think that's
I'm a PS1 gamer since day one. So then you play some 30, dog.
All the best
you play some 30
within 30 frames, bro.
You played almost all the Uncharted. All the Uncharted with 30, dog. Stop it.
But you got a taste of that goodness now. Pause. So now it's like, yo, I'm being real, man. It's like, yo, when you get a taste of the sweet nectar,
you got the nectar, you can't go back.
Yeah, man, you can't. You want that 60, and it's like, yo, playing God of War 2018 on the PS5 with the uncapped frame rate at 60. I absolutely want to play Ragnarok. At 60,
wait a minute.
Bro.
So is any of the modes uncapped? Like the 4K 40, is it uncapped? Because I know Spider-Man, they did the.
It is uncapped.
No, it's not. cap is at 40 hertz or 40 frames. So there's two different 4K modes. There's the 4K high fidelity mode that's got all the bells and whistles, ray tracing, and it's 30 frames. Then you got the 4K 40 hertz with VRR enabled, which is going to have ray tracing and it's going to be at 4K.
But it has all the bells and whistles too?
Yes.
Okay.
It has the bells and whistles. And then you've got
that's your unlock.
Yeah, that's the unlock with the VRR. And then you've got the
but it's capped at 40 though, right? They purposely capped it at 40?
No, it's not capped.
I think 40 is the baseline. I think that it doesn't.
Yeah, the baseline is 40.
Oh,
yeah.
but it could go higher.
If a mode has VRR, that means it should be uncapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 60 frames performance mode, and then you've got the 120 performance mode as well. Both with dynamic. Yeah, both with dynamic. Yeah, and what John Linneman said that the 120 mode is not at 1080p.
Yeah, he said
it's higher than 1080p. So I'm like, I might take a look at that 120 mode first to see what's up, because I might play that on the OLED at 120. I ain't gonna cap with y'all, boy.
That shit might be buttery smooth.
He's right. He did.
I didn't know. I thought it was going to be like 1080.
Nah, he said it's high. He said the resolution is higher than 1080.
That shit might be.
Hey guys, I gotta jump off.
All right, take care, Craig, man. Thank you for coming through, brother.
Take care.
Yeah, and if we got over 200 people, hit the like button, please. Thank you so much.
Imagine Ragnarok at 1440p 120.
Yo, listen, hold on.
I'm gonna play at the graphic settings that will allow me to take the best screenshots for the first experience of the game.
Bro, that's gonna be a 4K 40 hertz, bro.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the 4K 40.
I'm gonna try the 4K 40, but I most likely am gonna move to that 60 or 120 as the game starts to ramp.
Probably towards the end of the game, or the middle of the game, I'll move to 60. But that 4K 40 frames, that's what I'm gonna start with.
But that 120 though, like
nah, that's the collectibles.
That's the collectible mode.
I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at the mode first because it's the same thing with Miles Morales. Yeah. I originally played Miles Morales at the 4K 30 frames with the ray tracing and everything. Yeah. Because I knew if I switched to that 60, I ain't gonna want to go back. And once I beat it the first time, when I did my second playthrough for the platinum, I did the 60, buttery smooth, bro. Yo, Spider-Man 2 gonna be a month,
bro.
I feel like after that,
my brother
updated after that with the 60 frames and ray tracing.
Yo, my brother, I did the performance mode in the beginning, played it for a bit. I said, oh, let me see the graphics. While the graphics were good, I couldn't play it. I'm like, this dude is swinging awkward. I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I gotta go back to 60. So you were right, man.
Yeah, if you start at 60, you're not gonna go back.
Yo, it's just, especially a game like Spider-Man where it's all about speed and swinging through the city. Oh shit, I couldn't do it at 30. Man, I was like, man.
Since my eyes are still kind of like, even though I'm playing Star Wars 6 at 60, my eyes are still kind of used to 30 because I've played Gotham Knights for so long. So I'm definitely gonna try that 40 frames.
Go back to Gotham Knights after Star Wars. You're gonna be like, oh,
you're gonna throw that shit away. Oh, play God of War 120, then go back to Gotham Knights.
Yo,
it is night and day when you play Star Oceans from Gotham Knights, bro. Like Star Oceans is like pure perfection on performance. You go to Gotham Knights, like, yo, man. And this is supposed to be like the AAA banger. You know what I mean?
I mean, just like, so like, give me a quick synopsis of like, because this is my impression. Like, I haven't played the game, right? But nothing really gravitated towards me to play Gotham Knights, even though I'm a big Batman fan.
It's a good game.
Because, and I'll say this, it's when I look at some gameplay, I just feel all they did was they took those side missions that you do with Batman, you know, beat this guy, team or whatever, and they decided to make it a game. Am I accurate or am I way off on my assumption? Is there more to the game than what I'm assuming?
You just said I didn't hear what you just said.
Did I? You can hear me? Am I off?
No,
okay.
No, I'm sorry.
All right. So here's just from the gameplay, because I didn't see like an hour gameplay. You know, maybe 10, 15 minutes, mostly the fighting. My impression is that they took the concept of the Arkham games where, you know, you're doing those little side battles.
Side missions.
You know, the side missions, you know, beat 100 enemies, do all this stuff, blah, 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 you know, whatever, right? And they took that concept and decided to make it a game. Am I way off on that assumption, or did they do a lot more?
Yeah, it's much.
How much more did they do? Like, how much more is there?
Nah, this is a video game.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
The Bat Family game. This game.
I mean, there's like a story, progress.
Yeah, there's a story and all. Yo, listen.
If you are a fan of Batman, you're gonna like this.
I'm just saying, if I played this game and I
yeah.
swear to God, it's just a collection of side missions, I'm gonna be mad as fuck.
Yo,
Because I'm a Batman fan, but when I saw that shit, I'm like, they're taking these side missions and turning it into a game.
Don't listen to what a lot of people are saying, because a lot of people on Twitter, they're not even playing the game themselves. They just going off of reviews and videos.
It is a very smart and intelligent Batman game.
Okay.
Because even the side missions, because you're gonna be doing more side missions than you do the main mission, because the story's not that long, but it's good. But it's smart how they did it, because you still have to do investigation stuff to get certain things to unlock within the side.
Yeah, it still maintains that Batman investigative world's greatest detective type stuff. It still maintains that essence with the Bat family, but also when it comes to like the actual story, the story of the game is told really well.
Okay.
And it's very interesting and engaging. And then when it comes to the side missions within the game,
and each character has his own dialogue too within the story. It's not like if they just write everybody the same way.
Okay,
Everybody
so they have their own unique feel.
Yeah. They're all it's all there. So if you were to like want to change different characters for every mission, it would all be different dialogue. That's recorded for each character, but also the side missions as well. So you got Mr. Freeze side missions, Harley Quinn side missions, and Clayface side missions, and we're not just talking some rinky-dink bullshit. Like, these are very in-depth, very well built out side missions that they're close to being Ghost of Tsushima level. Not there, but they're very close. Okay. Very, very close. Yeah.
I think the freeze one for sure is like Ghost of Tsushima level.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, this is an RPG. You got to grind out. Okay. So it might be a side mission that's available, especially those main sub bosses. But you might not be the high enough level to even try that mission yet. So you got to go into the city and grind out, get your levels up, get your gear, so you can be at least good enough to do that mission.
Okay, all right.
Here's my biggest question.
There's different builds that you can do as well. Like, because it's got its RPG elements, depending on the character that you do. You can craft different armor sets that play to different play styles. So you can build a fire set that builds a lot of fire elemental damage on enemies. Okay. Ice set, poison set, concussion set, or you can do like a straight DPS build, which is what I have on my Batgirl, where I've got high crit chance, high crit damage on all of my stuff, and then I also got a poison elemental for my Batarang. And so, like, there's a lot of different things that you can do in the game in terms of that. And then the open world aspect of it, you got your usual stuff like, there's definitely collectibles, there's races, there's movement races as well, or time trials.
I can't stand
and
races.
Then it's also premeditated missions.
There's something that's gonna be there's something gonna upset you. Unlocking the fast travel. Oh, you gonna hate that. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, that fast travel shit was a little bit annoying.
Persona's like, that was kind of annoying. I don't know about that.
You got the premeditated.
Don't go into this game thinking that you're playing an Arkham game. It's not an Arkham game. It is his own game. That's where people are failing, because this is not to elevate Arkham, series. It's his own shit. It doesn't play like Arkham. The combat is very different than Arkham. It's a different game, bro.
But it's also not. But the combat is also not as slow as people are making it out to be.
Yeah, it's not as slow.
I'm gonna just wait till it hits Game Pass.
So here's my question.
It might hit PS Plus. You never know.
I'm gonna wait till it hit PS Plus Extra.
You guys played it, so can you do the co-op? Is there a lot of co-op things to do other than just running around the map? Can you do the story together?
You can do the whole game co-op.
The only problem with co-op, though, because me and Barry did it when we did our Whoops game night, the progress doesn't carry over for whoever joins your co-op session.
So only the host,
but the world doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah, like
if
you're on case number 2,
they didn't do it. They didn't do it like Tina's Wonderland. I thought they did that really, really well. Me and Bart was playing that as well, and everything I did story wise, or he did when he went back to his world, it just skipped him to wherever we left off. but it asked him if you wanted to replay those missions or not, and he could if he wanted to. This co-op didn't do that, which I think is kind of dumb, because why would you put an emphasis of an untethered world to play with your friends, but then not have that progress carry over?
Because that's just more work.
Huge oversight.
That's just more work, technically.
But the whole reason for the 30 frames was because of untethered co-op. So if you're gonna tank the performance in the name of an untethered co-op experience, why not have the progress? Why not also have that progress carry over with the friend that joins in with their friends? That I feel like that's
the only reason why. The only reason why I'm not upset at that, I think it's dumb though, but I do agree. But I'm not upset. Is because the story, if you can beeline the story, it's not long at all. You can beat that joint in like 2 hours. So everything else added on to the game, like the side missions and all that stuff, makes it a long game. Yeah, it's short if you beeline that story. You know what I mean?
That's it. Because when I did my New Game Plus, it took me I was running through that shit. I finished it in like maybe 4 hours, no cap.
That's some Order 1886 shit right there. Yo,
let me change. You can beeline it if you play on normal. If you playing on hard, you're gonna be there. Hard is a different beast.
Oh, I would say play the game on hard, but like after you get to like level 15. Because you don't want to kind of play that level 1 on hard, because you're gonna be there for a minute. You want to kind of get your build up a little bit. Yeah, you still gonna get your ass whooped. Don't get it twisted, especially in your first playthrough. But you want to have at least a little bit of gear, and you want to kind of know how to play the game a little bit, so that when you play on hard, you kind of like
when you start two-shotting people, then you're gonna be like,
you want to up the difficulty.
Okay, all right, good shit. All right, so God of War's upon us, right? We're about what? We're about actually eight days away. No, it's on the 11th, right?
No, it's on the 9th. So we're technically 7. We're technically. Count this as when we're already in Wednesday. Like it's only 3 hours to Wednesday, so we're a week away. officially.
Listen, when the preload hits, that's when it's gonna really hit. Like
the preload hits tomorrow. The second.
Yeah.
The second. I thought it was the third.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me check that. Right, boy. Third. I thought it was the second, but let me look at the preload.
So we about a week away, right? And you see the hysteria, right? Here's my question that I want to bring up with God of War, really, right?
No, it preloads tomorrow. Everything preloads tomorrow.
Oh, shit. So
Yo, I'm taking screenshots of all one.
Everybody's gonna be like, yo, the hype level is real, right?
Yo, this shit is real, man. No delays, no nothing. This shit is real, man.
Yo, it's happening,
I feel
bro.
Like they should have gave like an early day, like you bought it digitally, it preloads. You just
fuck, they're spoiling the shit already. Just unlock the shit right now.
I wish they would unlock it this Friday.
Corey Barlock should be like, you know what? Fuck it. Unlock that shit, man. Y'all motherfuckers spoiled the shit anyway. Just play the thing, right? But hey, so here's my thing, right? So like the hype level,
the reviews come out the third. Okay.
The hype level is at 1,000 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can this game win Game of the Year at the Game Awards again? Can it be Elden Ring?
Absolutely not.
Then absolutely not. Oh shit! Speak on it. Speak on it, Jay Bari. Speak on it. Speak from the heart.
I want to hear what Bari got to say. I made a line with him.
Persona. Me too. When he says absolutely not. Oh, I got to hear it.
I kind of get what he said.
It's my opinion.
It's
my opinion.
Yo,
it's my opinion.
It's my opinion. Does not echo the same sentiments that Elden Ring has echoed. It was not going to win Game of the Year. And I'm not talking about your personal game. I'm talking about like award show.
Yeah. I'm talking I'm talking specifically the Game Awards. Jeff Keighley's Game Award. So you don't think you don't think God of War could pull an upset?
I don't think it is, because based off the previews, I'm not saying there's going to be a low score game or whatnot, but based off the previews, you can definitely tell that people have their certain type
of... It feels like a PS4 game.
Yeah, they have certain type of notions that they would like.
Too many cracks.
You know what's funny? like people be like, but it feels like a PS4 game. I asked, well, isn't Elden Ring a PS4 game? Boy, they shut the fuck up real quick. I love
Don't do that to him,
when
P-Rock.
people
Don't do that to him.
I love it when they disappear from the timeline. Oh, this ain't winning game of the year. It's a PS4 game. I'm like, isn't Elden Ring a PS4 game?
And Elden Ring had more performances.
I'm like, and
you gotta realize like how Elden Ring got a 97 Metacritic. Yo, if God of War does not match that,
well, hold up.
Winning.
Well, hold up. What was Red Dead's Metacritic? Because remember, God of War beat Red Dead. Let me look up a
I think God of War.
Hook it up.
When do I go up?
You know what I'm saying? I think it was 97 also.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 was a 97 meta.
I'm saying was what?
God of War was a 94 meta.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
That's one show. If you talking about that one show,
and Elden Ring is a 96 meta.
Oh, see, I'm just saying, bro.
If God of War, I'll say it like this:
Listen,
if God of War gets within the 90 range, it's possible.
let's see.
If God of War does not get in the 90 range, it's not going to happen.
I want God of War to win. Because
I want God of War.
Not even on the fact if it deserves it.
I want God of War to win because I want to see the Elden Ring fanboys cry.
Yes, really I am going to.
Like, no cap.
You know how much tweets there are out there. You know I'm the receipt king.
Oh my god.
You know I'm the receipt king. I know all the receipts. Oh my god. Do you understand the assault that I will unleash? I will unleash Twitter's Ragnarok on that day. People will shut down their Twitter account. They'll be like, oh, Porter Rock's coming. Yo, the Rock, Porto Rock. I'm Porto Ragnarok.
When I told them God of War was going to take
hell on everybody,
I had Xbox fanboys in my tweets cursing at me, boy. They were cursing me like, yo. I said, brother, this is not, I had Xbox fanboys cursing me.
Yo.
I'm like, brother, you capping for Elden Ring? Like, yo, this is not even an Xbox game. What's going on?
This is probably your first Souls game. Shut the hell up.
Yo,
Porto Ragnarok will be coming on Twitter.
Ragnarok has to get, in my opinion, it has to get at least a 92. For me to be like,
I will go on Twitter and search keyword God of War DLC, and anybody on that list, you're fucked.
Yo, facts.
I am you are all screwed. It's just DLC. I want
God of War or Horizon to win Game of the Year. That's the two.
Now Horizon's not gonna do it. That I can tell you.
If God of War
not at the Game Awards.
If God of War is better than 2018, it has a high chance of winning. If it's the same, if it's the same, then it probably won't. But if it's more, which it looks like it from the previews, it'll definitely has a chance.
God of War gonna be an 87 meta.
Shit.
Nah, 66, bro. 66.
I'm telling you right now.
Yo, what reason?
The devs said themselves, man, they took all the feedback into serious consideration when building this game. So there's more. So the biggest issues with
Jabari,
I know, but hear me out.
What would be some of the comments?
It's more combat. It's more combat. There's more enemies. There's more mini.
They said 70 hours and they still haven't finished it.
Sound like Horizon Forbidden West.
Hey, Jabari, pretend you're a reviewer.
If this game gets in the 80s, I'm telling you, reviewers, they have a gripe against Sony, especially if Sony is trying to stop this Activision deal. You got a lot of these Xbox undercover reviewer fanboy motherfuckers. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Not only that,
Stevova's going to destroy that game.
This saga is only 2 titles, they said. This is the last title for this saga. So they said they're going to go all out.
So
Survivor?
Yo, this game is the story in itself is like 50 hours, man.
Ooh, your Survivor is going to thrash it. Jabari, pretend you're a reviewer. What they're going to say?
I told you they're gonna say God of War it feels like a sequel and it's the best God of War game to ever come out. 87 Metacritic.
They're gonna say it's a really good game. It's a really good game, but it falls short because it feels like a PS4. And the reason why I say that is because the button prompts are the same as the PS4 controller. So
you're gonna see stuff as far as PS4 holding this game back. You're gonna see.
They're gonna say this game is a safe sequel. I'm telling you, that's gonna be one of the words you're gonna see a lot. They're gonna say, I feel like God of War. It's a great game, but I feel like they played it too safe. Especially for it to be the final game in a 2-game series. What? Yo, you think I'm what? I'm telling you, bro.
Listen,
bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna be at least 3 reviewers that's gonna use that. I guarantee you, it's gonna be at least 3 reviewers.
Here's a review. Here's a review. Great game.
Words and add.
It's gonna be it's gonna be like great game, but he used the same combat control scheme as the same one, not innovative. 85.
Yep.
Yeah. They're gonna make up some long word and add a negative definition to it just to use it in their review, so people don't know what the frick they're talking about.
Oh shit!
Yo, when it comes to PlayStation games, these guys go for like these deep meaning of life type of reviews. Like they're
like
trying to find
like importance in their
life. They
life.
know they can't truly shit on the game, so they use like something that don't really pertain.
Yeah, they would go political, or they would go like a personal level. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like even Bayonetta. I've seen one review. They was complaining about Bayonetta, not all for gameplay, but because of Bayonetta sexual orientation is not what they wanted it to be, and that affected the person review.
Oh,
crazy.
I've seen a lot of that too. Like a lot of reviews now are using their personal opinions. Like you just gotta talk about the game. Like nobody cares about your opinion. Just talk about the game in general.
That's what's gonna happen with PlayStation games. That's what they did with Horizon.
Like what? Remember Days Gone? The GameSpot reviewer didn't like the comment. I'ma ride you like I ride my Harley. I was like, what? I'm like, and what's funny is she didn't get the joke behind it. That was from Sons of Anarchy. They were just doing an ode to the whole biker culture. And she didn't get that. People had to tell her, like, yo, that's a reference to Sons of Anarchy as biker culture. Like, what is wrong with you?
That should be a positive because you're nailing the biker culture. Yeah, like how a biker would talk.
You know what's funny about that too? John Garvin himself, he said on Jaffe's podcast like a couple months ago that he knew, it was probably over a year ago, he knew by reading the reviews that a lot of those people did not finish the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of the things that they had gripes with was addressed later in the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of these reviewers were complaining about things that was already explained and addressed.
Yeah.
So he knew that people weren't finishing the game when putting out their review. Crazy.
Oh, shit. You know, and they admit it now. Now reviewers say, oh, yeah. What was it? That one reviewer said, "Oh, I've been, reviewing tech games for like 10 years, and I could count on one hand how many I beat." I'm like, "You're proud of that, bro?
Shit.
That's scary.
Like 10 years of reviews, and you can count how many you beat as a job?
That's scary, man. That's
like,
very
as a
scary.
job.
Oh, that shit is crazy."
I generally don't talk about a game until I see the credits.
Like,
Like,
yeah.
Yo,
on the surface, that shit is crazy.
I can see them saying God of War is too long too. I can see them say that.
Oh,
yeah.
Rocky,
Oh, yeah.
shout out.
Yeah.
So shout out to Rocky Balbona. Super Chase says they're gonna say too much water.
Yo, I'll tell you
you
like
see the
this,
latest
like,
video
even
though?
trying
That
to-
video was nice though.
Oh,
It
There's
is
too much to
beautiful.
do. I'm tired. I don't want to keep doing all these cool things.
They padded in content.
Yeah, even though all the content will probably be unique.
Oh, look at this one. Shout out to Phil DVG. God of War has no jump or crouch like Elden Ring. 7 out of 10.
That's a headline.
Wait, no, Elden Ring does have a jump though. You can't jump in Elden Ring.
No, that's why he's saying God of War has no jump or crouch like Elden
has
Ring.
no jump or crouch like
Elden Ring. 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Somebody be like,
that's what's
not
gonna
a
happen,
sequel to Bloodborne. 6 out of 10. I'm like, oh shit.
Not a Bloodborne remaster. 5 out of 10.
I didn't get
Kratos is
I didn't
so
get a
bad,
copy
7
of
out of
Last of
10.
Us remake. 5 out of 10. Like what? Like what? What does that have to
Kratos
do with God
doesn't
of
use
War?
boy. 2 out of 10.
Oh, it gotta, or they're gonna do this. It got a waypoint, and there's a whole bunch of icons on the map.
Yo,
They're gonna say, oh, I guarantee you somebody gonna say, introducing the 9 realms sounds like a cool concept, but when you actually play the game, you feel like it's a little bit too much and too overwhelming. I'm telling you, man.
Jerry,
it's gonna be shit that we want that these reviewers are not going to like.
Yeah, because they gotta play the game. They gotta play. That's why.
Oh,
Someone said the boy grew up. 5 out of 10.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
See, but here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you like this though. As someone that's trying to do more reviews, because I'm like trying to put more reviews out and do more. Yo, beating these games, and I got a full-time job and a life and all sorts of shit. it's difficult. So I know these reviewers aren't finishing
I know,
these games before they put them out.
which is
I know
crazy,
for a
bro.
fact.
And that's their job, and
I
that's
know
their
for a
job
fact,
too.
bro.
That's just
Yeah, I know
crazy,
for a
man.
fact.
Shout out to I guess this Kid Smooth's alt, Jerry Moore. It overstayed his welcome. Like, oh shit.
5 out of 10.
Yeah. And then you got Bend Over. Oh my god. Yo, I got the most freakiest dudes on this goddamn channel. They're gonna say it doesn't respect our time.
Kratos is too bald.
Respect our
Somebody
time.
Smooth whole name. Yo, that's weirdo shit.
Yo, I'm telling you. Yeah.
That's not really smooth.
yeah.
No, that's not
man.
really smooth.
That's wild, man.
Man.
Yeah,
that's
it's kind of
wild.
crazy.
It's crazy. All right, so let me move on to the next topic. So, last topic.
Oh, it was him. It was him. He said so in
Okay.
the chat.
Oh, Smooth said it is him.
Who is?
Oh,
For a
wow.
minute, I was like,
I
oh,
was about
man,
to
here we
say,
go.
I was like, yo, that's some weirdo shit.
I know
Somebody
he
got
mentioned his
whole
name already, though, so that's why I wasn't too concerned because he did already put his name out. He
Wait,
put
so
his
when
love out
you
there.
donate it, it puts your actual name.
No,
that you have
it
on the
doesn't. No, it
privacy
doesn't.
settings?
That was him. I
I
think.
don't know
I
because
did a
I'm
different
clicking on the
account.
name. I'm clicking on the name, and I can't. There's no like channel associated with
to
the Kid
see.
Smooth. man.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a little.
Smooth don't-
That's
Smooth
why I
don't care
mod.
about
That's why.
his whole name.
That's why I mod certain people to make sure. Man.
Right.
So the next topic, he says I was logged under my base Gmail. Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yo, everybody hit up Kid Smooth on Twitter and ask him where's the comedy show.
The comedy show.
Everybody in the chat right now.
What's the comedy
Everybody
show?
in the chat right now, go to Kid Smooth on Twitter and ask him where is the comedy show.
What are you talking about?
You think I forgot? I ain't forget.
What's the joke? What happened?
What?
Give us some context.
No, like back in like 2017 or like 2018, yo, Kid Smooth was like, I'm bringing new content to my channel. I'm thinking about doing a comedy show, and he never did it. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right,
No,
so-
man, he did.
He never
He
did
kept
that
playing on Xbox. That shit's comedy in itself. I'm playing.
He started doing rage videos and these challenges and all that.
That's the
bullshit, you know
comedy,
what I
bro.
mean?
That's the comedy.
I'll tell you, comedy. Smooth.
He played on.
But he did. Oh, that was that around the time he did the one chip challenge. You
Oh,
remember that shit?
It was before. It was before. Yo, he was wilding for that, doing that one chip
I just
challenge.
start throwing up on there. I'm like, yo, Kid Smooth is wild, bro. I'm like, yo.
Yo, ain't enough views
Yo.
or likes in the world have me doing that,
man,
bro.
man, listen.
Live stream. I
You
ain't
will
doing
have
that.
to offer me millions if you expect me to have content out there where I eat a chip and throw up. Like, you better have, I better see, like, life-changing dollars in front of me.
Bro,
like
and I don't drink milk like that raw.
Yo,
You know what I mean? And you have to drink milk to like dilute the pepper and all that.
I don't
Nah,
have chocolate
I ain't
milk.
doing that.
I'm like, like, does chocolate milk, like, you ever notice that? Like, the guys who do those one chip challenges always, like, plain milk. Like me, I'll be like, yeah, I ain't got chocolate. Like, isn't it the same
Is there a
shit?
difference?
Nah, I wouldn't want
I
to
don't
drink no
know.
chocolate milk with. I don't know. That's like that's.
I mean, because I don't like the taste of regular milk unless it's, like, in cereal. So, like, now, like, I'm eating this chip, my mouth is burning, and now I'm gonna drink milk I don't even like the taste of. That's not a good combo for me. It reminds me of like
bro.
my dad, right? So I don't like the taste of honey, like that real honey. You know, I don't know if your parents gave you
I
that.
love raw honey.
Right?
I love
So
honey,
you already
bro.
see Persona. We there. You knew exactly what I was gonna say. So my dad used to give me cod liver oil. And then and I'm like, I don't like that. He's like, don't worry, I'm gonna add honey to master taste. I'm like, I don't like honey either. I'm like, you gave me two things I don't like. That's like a combo. It is the worst tasting combo I ever
I
had in
love
my
raw
life.
honey.
Bruh, you look in my cupboard,
love
yo, you
honey,
see like
man.
3 different like honey bottles.
So,
bruh.
nah,
I'm a
I don't like
connoisseur.
honey at all. Oh, I just don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm a
I
tea
love
guy. I
tea
drink
Raw,
tea. so
raw
I
honey.
drink
Raw honey is like good as fuck. Man.
Ooh. You
None
know
of
what I'm
that like
That's that dark. That's that dark honey, boy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
mess with. I
that-
can't mess with
that
honey.
shit
And then
that
my
they
dad
just-
be like, he
that
thought
shit
he
that they cut open the bee comb and just scrape that shit into
oh,
the bottle.
straight from the bee's
Straight
ass.
up, bro.
Straight from the bee's ass.
Straight up, bro. That's the type of honey you want, man. You want that shit straight from the comb, bro. They scrape that shit in the bottle and sell it to you, man.
He said straight from the
The
bee's
best, place,
ass.
the best place to get honey is from like farmers markets, though. Like if you want like pure true
Nah,
honey
they
in
upcharge
that
you.
mason jar. That's what you want.
Listen,
That's that
all
real
right, so
honey.
They upcharge you on that shit.
Hey, so shout out to all you who drink tea, right? I'm not bashing
I'm a tea
y'all.
guy.
Y'all like tea and honey, but yo, I'm Puerto Rican. I don't do tea.
I don't like tea.
Coffee,
Yeah, it's all
café con
coffee,
leche.
bro.
All right, you know how
Café
you know the
taíno.
vibes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all serve me tea, I'm gonna look at y'all like, Do you not see my face? Do I have the face of a guy that drinks tea? I need my Bustelo up in here. Like you ain't got
Bustelo? Some
Bustelo?
milk in it, man.
I mean, fuck.
Tea
At
with
least
milk?
give me some Folgers.
Tea with
Give
milk
me
in it.
something.
I love that shit, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta put the Lipton tea bag in there and then pour some milk. Man, that shit's
You
You know what I think it is?
Y'all
I think
do sound
I
like
think
y'all
it's a
from
type
London.
of tea because there's a lot of types of tea, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said tea
Yeah,
for old
Yeah,
ladies.
there's flavored tea
Or
or the one that
boba
Persona's
tea.
talking about.
What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celestial.
Or
bubble
Y'all into that
Bubble
celestial
tea.
seasoning shit?
Okay, I've had that. Yeah, bubble tea.
Y'all into
Yeah,
that
bubble tea with the
celestial? Y'all into
tapioca
that
balls in
celestial
it.
seasonings?
That's really good.
Yep.
That's what y'all be
You
doing.
said what, P-Rock?
Y'all be having celestial seasonings and tea and crumpets?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So I drink tea legit
y'all
like 2
drink
times
Pinky
a
Up?
day.
Pinky up?
Yes, sir.
I do
got,
that.
some
I do
Kama-
that.
I got some chamomile tea packets in there.
He's like
Yo,
Pinky.
Mr. Flash, I can tell him my yachty. He know the vibes, yo. Green tea all day, bro.
That's it.
It's
Oh.
funny when you see someone put their pinky up when they're drinking,
He's
but
like,
I do it
"Pinky
too.
He's like Pinky up. Oh shit, that's crazy. All right, hey, last topic. We're gonna talk about our boy Nibellion. All right.
All right.
He said, "Fuck you, pay me." All right. Yo, literally, that's literally how he said it. He said he gave this long-winded thing. I'm like, yo, bro, you could have just typed out "fuck you, pay me," and then that's it, right? So for everybody don't know, Nibellion for a while now, he's been providing some great news. He's like Wario64, right? They provide great news on things that's happening in gaming industries. No fanboy stuff, nothing to make fun of, just straight news, straight facts. He also pushed out great deals, like some of the stuff I seen. Let me know on what's popping for sale and stuff like that. He's just a great source of information, right? And he grew, his channel grew. I mean, his Twitter account grew. But I guess he tried to capitalize on the Twitter movement and try to make a Patreon off the Twitter movement. And like we like Bari, to me that didn't sound like a good idea. But anyway, his Patreon wasn't growing in a way that he was anticipating, where he felt is not sustainable. I guess he wanted to make this into a sustainable income, possibly live off it. And I can't knock a guy trying to use social. A lot of people do. A lot of people's life change, for content creation. There's some people who made it rich. And here's the thing: you don't have to be rich. Like there's people who are just earning $80,000, $90,000 a year, but when you think about it, that's like a regular job for most people. So that's enough. Like you treat this as a regular job on a year-to-year basis, right? So maybe he was looking for that, but it wasn't working. So he's done. I think he just tweet protected his account or whatever, and he's no longer going to be
petty
posting
as fuck
energy,
too. Cause
right?
if you not following him, you can't see none of the shit he's posting.
No,
so
he locked
all
that
his
shit
old
already.
Shit done. Yeah,
That
if
shit
you're not
is
following
locked.
him, that's a wrap.
So if you try to follow him now, you can't, because he's not going to approve any new followers. His account is that, and he said, and I read that he's just doing that because he still wants to keep the name, just in case.
Yeah, in case somebody steal it, nobody can steal his name.
But other than that, Other than that, yeah, he said he's done. He's not tweeting no more, because he wants it to make it more as a subscribable job, but he's not getting no income. What you guys think about that? I'm gonna start with Persona and J Bari, right? Because you guys are also content creator. What you think about that, and what do you think his mistake was? If he really wanted this to make it into, like, if his goal was make this into a job with sustainable income.
So, just to add a little bit more context, a couple weeks ago, I want to say like probably a week before, a couple days before he created the Patreon, he had said that he had a lot of stuff going on in his real life, and priorities. He wanted to start trying to make some money off of this or whatever. So that's why he started the Patreon, because it would give him more motivation to keep it going. So that was why he started the Patreon to begin with. I think as a content creator, Twitter is a very strange place, because, and I was saying this on my own personal, when the news hit, on my Twitter, I've got 4,300 followers, but on my YouTube, I've only got 27 or 2,800.
Yeah.
So that whole follower shit doesn't really translate to support or subscribers anyway. And I think the other thing about it too is, as he started to see it grow, I feel like he should have pivoted from there. Once you saw you had like 10, 12, 13, 15,000 to 100,000, I would have pivoted from there and be like, yo, let's get a website going. Let's get, let's get a YouTube channel going. That's if you're really trying to turn this into a business. And I think that's the difference between like him and Wario. Because Wario's got 1 million followers, but if you follow Wario and you see he posts a lot of things that's like, and he'll start have that hashtag ad, that's because people are paying him to promote sales and products that's on these websites.
Yes.
So a lot of the stuff that you see Wario posting, he's getting the check. You get what I'm saying?
They want him to advertise it on his Twitter channel.
Yeah. And so I think when it comes to Nibellion, I feel like he should have pivoted to a website and creating content at like the 100K mark. If you wanted to reach like a certain goal before you went like, all right, now we can kind of start, doing what we do. But I feel like he also didn't give the Patreon enough time. Yeah. You feel me? Like he had like 1,200 or 1,300 Patreons at $5. That's $5,000 a month. That's $5,000 a month.
He already had 1,300 Patreons?
Yeah, he had I think like 1,200 or 1,300 like that. So he was already getting a nice little spread. Like some of them was at the $1, some was at the $5. I think he said he had like 1,000 or something like that, or approaching 1,000
after 2 weeks.
yeah.
Wait a minute, his Patreon is only what, 2 weeks old?
No, it's about a month maybe.
Wait,
like
about a month, and he already had 1,000 Patreons? Yeah. The fuck was he expecting? 1 million followers in 4 weeks?
I mean, he's got 400,000. He's got 400,000 followers, so I think he was probably expecting 10,000 Patreons at the least. But
holy, I didn't know about that. That's like a whole new conversation. Now I'm like, yo,
that's like $5. Yeah, that's like $5. If so, because he had a $1 tier and then he had a $5 tier. So even if you say you had 500, maybe that did the $1, and then another 500 at the $5, we still talking over $2-3 grand. You feel me? Like right there.
Yeah, because like if he just opened up his Patreon, right? His Twitter is only gonna give him a percentage of people that will make that instant connection. Like, oh shit, you opened up a Patreon, boom, I'm there. Mm-hmm. But in order to sustain and grow, you have to add more content. You have to advertise it more, and you might. And in my opinion, I don't think Twitter's enough. That you have to have something bigger, like something like a YouTube channel.
Engage your audience.
Yeah, you have to have maybe like a YouTube channel where you can make specific videos and content. Exclusive content. Something.
I don't think he had the time for that. Like, I think part of it too. Cause I think he had no one really knows what his real life is like. Mm-hmm. What Nibellion looked like. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't really someone that was divulging his personal life or his family or what he does in his day-to-day. Mm-hmm. Like, none of that was there. So I think, I know he had he did say at one point, he had a job. He has a job, whatever it is to be. But the whole thing is, I think for Nibellion, I think, because a lot of people was trying to dismiss, oh, well, fuck him. He was only retweeting news and all. Nah, it was much more than that, man.
No, he put in work.
For me and Bari.
Well, he did.
Yeah, even for me and Bari, we've even used certain articles that we might have missed and Nibellion to jog our memories or see it, and we would use it in our show outlines and stuff like that. And him live tweeting events and all this other stuff that's going on, he was really on top of that shit, man, and really, really doing a lot of great stuff for the community. So, I think it sucks to see him go, but I think from the content creator perspective, I can kind of see how he probably might have gotten discouraged from wanting to create content because, he probably doesn't want to talk on camera or doesn't want to talk on a mic or whatever. He probably doesn't have the time to really put a lot of effort into that. But also maybe, because growing on YouTube and Twitch, that shit's very tough, man. Is, man. And that's not saying that but I think if you're going into it just with the mic, it's not going to play out the way you think it is, at least not right away. right? Because even if you got 5,000 people that sub to you, you may only get 100 people that join your membership.
Yeah.
Are you not going to put content out because more people aren't subbing?
Yeah.
You know, you still got to kind of build up that rapport and build that type of stuff up.
Yeah.
But I think him leaving, it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, 1,000 Patreons. Shit, I hope we get that. I'm speaking that into existence for what?
Yeah,
I hope that
1,000
motherfuckers
Patreons,
sign up
that's
to our
crazy, you know?
Patreon. If we do one. So you know, I don't know. I think it sucks to go at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna give you the hard truth about this.
Oh
bullshit,
shit, yo,
man.
Barry, you know we
Yeah,
expect
man.
nothing less than speak from the
Yeah,
heart.
we gonna speak from the heart, man. I love Nibellion. I thought he had a great Twitter account. I use his information and his cliff notes on from Twitter. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this motherfucker dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? It's just plain and simple. Nobody want to say it, but I'm gonna
That's
say
the Bronx. That's the Bronx and Barry. He ain't sugarcoating nothing.
The man is a dummy because
That's
why the
that
hell
East
would you go
Tremont
on
talk
over?
right there, bro.
Listen, on one platform, people are lazy enough to hit the like button
Yeah.
on YouTube, and that's just one platform. Why the hell do you think that people is going to transition from Twitter to Patreon? Nobody want to go
Of
to no
all
fucking
things.
Patreon. And Patreon, they take away way more money than they will ever do from Twitter or on YouTube. I had a Patreon, or we had a Patreon, and we barely got shit from it. We was getting like $30 a month, and Patreon was taking 20. You know what I mean? So why the fuck are you signing up for Patreon? At the end of
Patreon
the
is
day,
for like some like big time type shit, man.
yeah, like, at the end of the day, this man had access to a lot of things that's being a verified Twitter channel. He could have did a super follow.
Yeah.
He could have
He could have done that. You're right.
He wasn't verified. He didn't have a check mark. He doesn't have a check mark next to his name.
Oh, you can't do
because he
super
probably
follow?
didn't apply. How you have 400,000 followers and not verified? You probably just didn't go.
One, in order to verify, you have to put your face on the profile. He didn't have a face on the profile. That's a
No,
requirement.
you don't got to do it as long as you're an entity or whatnot.
Are you sure?
He could have got.
Yeah, no, you don't have to have your face on a profile. No.
I thought you had to have a verified face.
At the end of the day, Nibellion, though he was good at what he did as far as just like simplifying gaming news, he's not a content creator. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're going over to Patreon for content creation. All you're pretty much doing is just giving. You're pretty much that nerd in school where people was like, "Yo, let me see your homework." You know what I mean? You're not really doing. You're not.
All right. So I looked it up on my profile. So I qualify for super follow. All you need is 10,000 followers, 25 tweets in the past 30 days, and be at least 18 years old. So you don't need to be a check mark.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The man could have enabled super followers. Like, yeah, I enabled this, and it would have been much better because now that audience would have stayed within there, and you could just easily, I get a super follow badge or whatnot. You know what I mean? I understand that he wanted to have
leverage his connections either, though. Like his connections, because like a lot of people, like journalists and industry folks, they fucked with him because they were commenting on his shit, sharing his shit out and all that. I don't get how
he didn't like reach out or something.
He did what people didn't want to do. You know what I mean? Like I said, he simplified these long ass articles or briefings or things like that. People want bite-sized information on Twitter. That's why you see a lot of people is going to Twitter to get the information rather than going to the actual website. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because they want the bite-sized information. So yeah, he capitalized on that and it was great. But I don't blame Nibellion either because, I've been saying this for weeks. All you see now is motherfuckers trying to be the next Nibellion as far as what they're trying to do is give you common sense information that you can clearly see from a tweet and regurgitate it on a quote tweet. You know what I mean? And that's why he tried to monetize. Like, all these motherfuckers doing the same shit I'm doing now. They catching on. You know what I mean? Let me monetize it because I got a big following this and that. But it didn't pop off. At the end of the day, he should have been had this stuff monetized. He should have had a website, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because you're no different than an IGN or anything. You just more bite size.
I think so. Yeah.
But he's also not person like. I don't think he was really connecting with his people, like with people either. Like I don't know. I think it's weird because like he's very distant. So it's like we don't know who he is. We don't know nothing about the man. And I think they just viewed him as just a source for news and not really someone that they would want to truly support.
No.
And I know that sounds.
He wasn't a person.
I know that sounds fucked up.
Like it wasn't like his account wasn't.
Like he's got a mob
person.
psycho. He's got a mob psycho pic. So I think a lot of people, like, yo, this is just someone I'm going for information for. You know, he's not sharing no pictures of him. He's not sharing no real life experiences or funny stuff. It's straight news
or even
gaming,
a conversation.
Boom.
Like there's
He
no
doesn't-
conversation.
He had to engage with his community, and he barely did that. Basically,
I seen him communicate with certain people, but yeah, he's not like active like that. He doesn't have a personality, so it's hard to sell that. You know what I mean? When it comes to now asking people for money when there's nothing relatable or anything that can attract people to whatever you do. But don't get it twisted. I appreciate all the stuff that he has done, the trend that he has started, especially now on Twitter. Yeah, like he's definitely gonna be missed. You know what I mean? But yo, at the end of the day, people need to go back to the old school ways, man. Read the fucking article. You know what I mean? Like, read the shit for yourself and break down articles. You know what I mean? Everybody,
you know niggas not gonna do that.
Yeah, they're not. They want quick information, which, like I said, he was great for. But yo, read the damn article yourself and break down your own shit. You know what I mean? Use your brain a little bit.
Shout out to Bazooka Long Dong. Oh boy.
Hey, yo, man, you got the P-Rock, man.
Yo, who these dudes you got in your chat?
Listen,
What's
bro.
going on?
It's a Pornhub channel.
Yo, I don't know what the fuck. This shit's gonna translate. I can't wait to see the advertisements my channel be pushing. Colin Moriarty making bank dough. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He has like what 11, 12, 15,000.
Colin got like
but see, the thing about Colin Moriarty, Colin actually is a personable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when you hear him talk, you know, he's got a dope podcast. When you hear him speak, when you hear him, like, you know, interacting in the community and all that stuff and putting his thoughts out there, people can relate to that. They can relate to him. They can relate to his preference in gaming. We don't even know if Nibellion play games. We don't know nothing.
That's a good point.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
But you're right.
But are you actually a gamer, or are you just someone that's trying to capitalize off of gaming because it's popular?
Good point.
That's also the thing as well, and that kind of opened my eyes when I was really.
Who is Nibellion?
But who is he? Is he a gamer? Are you playing? Are you actually playing? Like, where's the gameplay? Where's this? Like, what do you do you have another gaming channel, or at least Twitter, that we can kind of reference? There was none of that. So really and truly, this could have been a dude, you know, just to piggyback off what Barry's saying, this could have been a dude that was just trying to make bank off the gaming community.
like
And he saw it wasn't
the
popping
ambassador,
off.
an Xbox ambassador.
You know,
Like
you
this?
made a good point because really, his announcement to not be on Twitter was possibly the most personal thing he's done his entire time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean nobody.
before
when
that,
I saw it, I was
nothing.
like, "What? Really? Damn!" Like I was surprised. People were surprised when he did it.
I was very surprised.
Yeah. I didn't really know that he was trying to do that. And that's another thing, like no advertisement. Because I didn't even know he was trying to monetize his platform.
I didn't know there was a Patreon.
And make it bigger. I didn't even know he had a Patreon.
Mhm.
Not saying that I would sign up for it, but you know I'd be talking that bullshit. So if I didn't know, and I'm the biggest bullshitter, I'm like, how many people even knew that would support him or whatever? You know?
Yeah.
Shout out to King Prel. He said, shout out to my NYC brothers. Stay positive. Oh, you definitely know I will positively get God of War. So that's a form of positivity.
That's a fact.
Oh shit, now everybody's calling my channel Portal Hub. Oh fuck. Motherfuckers gonna want to see OnlyFans of my feet. Hey yo, this shit is wild. But hey, I feel bad, but I think he
now that
just.
I'm thinking about it, I now that I'm like really thinking about it, I don't know if I would have supported it either. So I'm thinking like, yo, are you a gamer?
Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. So, like, I don't have an OnlyFans, right? And the reason why, I mean, OnlyFans.
Right.
Well, obviously, I don't have that. Patreon. I don't have a Patreon, right? Because to me, I think that's like a whole new level of engagement for your audience, and you really got to put in the time.
Different layer.
The content for the memberships. You got to really tailor it out and stuff like that. You know, you asking a lot now from the community to sign your Patreon. It's not just simply get the same thing that you already get from my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta do something more. T-shirts and just It's stuff like that. And I don't have the time to get to that level. That's why I never did a Patreon or anything like that. Because to me, that's a whole new ball game. If he thought he was gonna get a Patreon just for simply doing something he's already doing on Twitter, without nothing unique for those people that decides to subscribe to Patreon, it's just gonna fail. Like, that's a whole new commitment that you're trying to get people to. It's not just simply sign my Patreon because you get to look at my Twitter
content.
What happened?
Matter of fact, you gotta actually offer content. You can't be like, oh, I'm breaking down gaming articles, pay me to do that.
Yeah, or like I'm gonna screenshot what I did on Twitter.
Because even one of his Patreon things was like, yo, get access to Discord. But he didn't even create the Discord yet.
Oh,
it's like coming soon.
Oh, no. Yo, that's some snake.
Come on, man. You do. That's why I was like, yo, this wasn't like well planned out.
He should have done the Discord first.
Crazy.
Yeah, some of this stuff is a little spooky.
Yo, that's some South Bronx shit right there. Yo, $5, you get access to the Discord. Yo, where the Discord at? That shit's a Kickstarter project. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, dog. Stay tuned. What?
Jesus.
Yo, Nibellion. Yo, he snake oiled the hell out of people. Yo, pay for access for something that don't exist yet.
That's funny. That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, I'm reading it too. I'm on the Patreon right now.
And then the nerve to complain why people.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm looking at the Discord and I'm like, when he said he was leaving, I peeped the Discord. I'm like, yo, this look kind of spooky, brother.
And then the nerve.
Discord coming soon.
Yo, this dude
that's created yet?
Yo, and this guy has nerve. How come you're not signing to my Patreon? Mofo, you ain't got your Discord up yet. What you talking about? You mad?
Look. His description on Patreon is like, hey, I tweet about video games. That's what everybody does.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's what I'm saying. I respect Nibellion. Don't get it twisted, because I think he does a great thing for the
But
community.
he didn't do a good job advertising himself.
But it's like, yo, you can't ask for money based off of what everybody else can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta offer something different. You know
what I mean? He said too in his message, he said, I see now that people don't really like, I'm paraphrasing, this is not word for word, but I see now that people take for granted what I do and all.
Take for granted? What?
You gotta go.
That's a bad attitude.
Put out like a whole 6 paragraphs.
Yeah, that's a bad attitude.
But my whole thing is like, bro, it's only been a month and you already getting more than a G off this shit. Yeah. And it's been like,
oh yeah, he got 900 and something people.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you already getting close to G off.
There's people out here. There's people out here actually making YouTube content and actual content, and they still don't have that many amount of people.
No, not even close.
That's what, bro. He is getting easily $2,500 a month, right?
Easily, and that's just starting.
Easily,
that's just starting.
And that was over after. And you saying,
imagine if he actually made the Discord.
You know, I'm looking at his Patreon now. It's messed up because he got 2 tiers, right? $1 and $3. So the $1, you only get my gratitude. But the $3, that's where you get access to the actual Patreon feed. So if you want to see the things that he's writing on Patreon, you got to pay the $3, not just the base $1. That was never gonna work. You know what I mean?
That has to be accessible at the lowest tier, because then don't underestimate that $1 tier for Patreon. If you got 5,000 people that's subbing for $1, bro, that's $5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that went to support, and then when they saw the $3 one was the one that actually gave you the features for Patreon, they were like, hell no, dude. Why would I pay $1? Why would I burn $1 and just not do anything?
That's Game Pass for $1.
So yeah,
you getting more? Hey. You getting more Patreon. What's going on here?
Yeah,
that $1 means something today.
Wow, he didn't think that out. He didn't think that out.
Nope.
Let me show my screen. So yeah,
listen, I know. So this is his thing right here. YouTube videos where they hide their voice. They hide behind like an anime picture and still do content where they talking, and he could have did that.
So
you talking about the VTube? Yep.
So this So I'm sharing the screen. So yeah, the $3 a month, all of that should have been the dollar tier.
Yep.
Right? And you like Persona said, that dollar, especially if you got 900 Patreons, 1,000 Patreons, whatever patrons, that dollar goes far. The $3 tier, he probably could have done a $5 tier, and probably could have been like access to news, insider information, access to events, or like information on upcoming
be the
events.
First to see breakdowns or something like that.
What?
Like it could have been so much stuff that he could have did.
Like access to knowledge behind upcoming Eventbrite, things like that. Like, because he usually gets news first. So like, if you want access to this news before he puts it on Twitter, he could say, $5 a month, I get access to this news before it goes on Twitter to the public. You'll get first access to it. People will pay $5 for that, because what people will do is they'll take that and then they'll try to do it on their Twitter. You see what I'm saying?
Or on YouTube.
Or on YouTube.
Video like
they'll
this
try to make content off of him. You know what I'm saying? So they're giving him $5 or even $10. I could say, if he did a $10 tier and he says, hey, I'll give you information before I even put it on Twitter, there's dudes that will give him $10 a month, because what they're going to do is they're going to take that info and they're going to create their own content off of his shit.
Or he could have did like on IGN Daily type shit, or Kind of Funny Daily, where he could have created a 10-minute video every day for his Patreons that gives a high-level overview of the gaming news for that day.
Yeah.
And that could have been a $5 tier or $10 tier. And a $5 tier could have been access to the page, access to all this other shit. It's so much that he could have done with this. But I think, looking at it and looking at how many Patreons he has, I think you were dumb. Like, no disrespect, but you stupid as fuck for walking away from any level of money. Because, like,
you walk away from 1,000 patrons.
This could be your $2,000-$3,000 a month, and then you got your regular job making like $100K or a year. Bro, you understand how you can just stack and
listen,
and
people,
yeah,
I don't know, maybe he's already rich, and like a 2,000 for him is not the way we see it. Because to me, 2,000 of additional income on top of what we already do is great money, especially if it's something you've been doing for the last while. How long have you been doing this? 2, 3, 4 years?
He's been doing
it
for a minute. So it's something you're doing anyway. So you're already stacking 2 Gs. You're stacking 2 bands. It can only go up,
bro. If you getting
right from the get go.
If you getting 3, so say you got a job that you make $25,000.
Yeah.
Comfortably off of that or whatever, and you got this side hustle where you making at least, let's just round it off to $3,000 a month extra on top of what you do with your job, and that's $3,000 a month. 3 times 12 is what? That's 30 plus grand. 36 grand a year.
Yeah.
A year, Puerto Rock.
And here's the thing.
A year, and you can stack that.
You can invest years, that could be your. That could be your investment.
I would say take like about 10 or 15K away from that. That's due to what Patreon takes.
Yeah.
All right, so fine. Right. You get 15. You get 15K a year.
15. Let's say 15K a year.
That's the extra 15K that you can put
investment
in your Roth IRA.
You can invest.
You can put it into an investment account, compound that, and then you still got your regular 401k, and you got your regular money from your job that you could stacking on as well, bro. Like that extra 15K a year. You know how much that help people by having that side hustle?
Yo, 15K a year, properly invested. You'd be surprised in the long run, in your older age, how much money that will end up being if you could just drop 15K. That's I don't know, man.
Especially if you're already putting money into your 401ks through your job checks. You could just stop that. You can funnel money around a bit and have your backup money going into this account. Have your backup money going here, compound interest here, Roth IRA here. It's so many things you can do with that 15K a year.
Like you could take your annual salary, right?
It's so crazy.
Increase your 401k.
You know why I know this could be deeper than
by
gaming?
that amount. You understand what I'm saying? Because like if you didn't have the 15K, but now that you're making additional 15K, you could be like, cool. So I'm gonna go back, to human resource. I'm gonna tell them, hey, I want to invest more of my salary towards this, because now you have the 15K to supplement. You understand what I'm saying? There's, like you said, there's multiple ways to really make more money work for you.
But that's the thing, though, too, we talking about just starting out. Yeah. If he would have built it out properly and, stay consistent, that 1,000 Patreons
He
would
would have
have
got
turned to
more.
5,000.
He would have got more.
Bro,
5,000
easily got more.
to
this
10,000.
this joint is deeper than gaming when it comes to this dude. Because okay, I get. Let's go along with his word as far as why the reasons he's leaving Twitter. The whole Elon Musk and he's scared how freedom of speech and all that stuff with Twitter and all that
bullshit.
stuff.
I don't believe that.
No. Before y'all say it's bullshit, let's work with me here. He could apply what he's doing on Twitter, right on Patreon, and monetize that like he's doing here. Everything that he's doing on Twitter, he can bring that to Patreon. So why are you just stopping completely what you're doing? It has to be something deeper than.
Yeah, I don't know. Not just that.
What do you think it is?
Not just that. He could have extended it to Facebook, because Facebook is kind of like the
Facebook
longer
page.
version of Twitter, if you know what I mean, right? It's not as fast, but it's still all about posts and stuff like that. He could have just now copy-pasted what he's doing on Twitter, create a Facebook movement, capitalize off that. You know what I mean? There's ways to double dip on the same thing you're already doing. Then go to Instagram and just do screenshots of the same shit. So now you're triple dipping on something that's originating
That's what I'm
from
saying.
Twitter.
It's deeper than that's what he's saying. It got to be deeper,
man.
because why
What
would
do you think it
completely stop?
is? What do you think it is?
I don't know.
I think
Maybe he going through a divorce or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? It's something
Could
deeper,
be, maybe.
because why does completely stop?
I think
you
I
already
think-
have the foundation here on Twitter. I mean, on Patreon, that you can do everything that you're doing on Twitter on Patreon, where you can create those posts of gaming content and put it there on Patreon and have your $1 or your $3. What you completely.
I feel like he was trying to break into the industry, and niggas shunned. I feel like dudes probably shunned him or something like that. Like, he kind of kept him at arm's length, because really and truly, Nibellion does it better than Nibellion is really what kept a lot of these journalists dudes afloat, because they ain't following none of this shit. Look how they report on shit. They're reporting on rumors. They're reporting on rumors that got analysts and 2 followers. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's the type of shit these journalists they do. Or they commenting on Fanboys shit. They not news. And like Nibellion was doing that, and I think a lot of them journalists they didn't like him.
Journalists are down bad when they retweet my shit. I'm like, oh man, you guys are hurting, bro. Like,
so they was hurting
you
when
mentioning
they
my
when
shit.
they found out
Oh
he
man, you guys are hurting.
They were hurt when they found out that he leaving. I know. Kind of funny using Nibellion all the time. When they do the little daily reports and PS I Love You, they use Nibellion all the time. So
there's gonna be a lot of pockets about to get light.
yo, that's a fact, bro.
Yo, shout out to P Rock Eastwood. Oh shit, he says, you got your deck yet?
No.
My man out here, P Rock Eastwood. Oh shit, Proc Eastwood. Oh shit.
that's
Be nice. You got your deck yet? What, Steam Deck? Nah, I don't do handhelds. I'm just not a handheld type dude. All right, but anyway, man. Hey, whatever Nibellion's going through, man. I hope he alright. I wish him luck. I mean, I can't hate on him for trying to hustle. Anybody trying to do this social media thing, but yo, this shit ain't easy, bro. And if you really want to go big, you gotta in my opinion, you really gotta
engage
and stuff like that.
You gotta engage with your community.
You really
if
got to
engage.
So Patreon, you're talking big leagues now.
There's people with voice changers and even just a 2D picture or a VTuber, and they have a community. People don't care what you look like or what you sound. They just want someone they can hear and talk to, and whatever the hell. But just being basically a bot that puts out rumors and news, it's not really a lot.
I mean, I'm gonna be real.
Porter, I got a question.
What's up?
Now that you see that 2022 is about to end, where do you see PlayStation in the next couple years? Like, do you think they're gonna give up? Be like, you know what? Let me have Game Pass on my platform.
Nah, I don't see them giving up Game Pass.
Bro,
no. That's
not my show. It's not my show. Let me show.
I'm just saying, Uses, man. Yo, I'll tell you, Uses just has terrible etiquette. He has terrible podcast.
Why
etiquette.
you say that,
man? This guy's bra man for Martin, bro. He's literally my bra man. My man come up in the house and grab the fridge and be like, and then go out the
This is a
window.
pod- this is a
My man
podcast.
P Rock said, "All right, this is the last topic, yo." You used to come in and was like, "All right, let me ask him a question."
Yeah, man.
yeah,
We about to
yeah.
close out the show, man. I got my New York brothers doing their thing. They're about to play some games, man. But I'm gonna tell you, since
I'm
he's
about to
really
go
mad
to
at Game Pass,
I'm going
bro.
to sleep. I got a presentation in the morning.
Yo, oh
Yeah, I gotta
shit,
go
my
to
man
sleep.
doing big
All
things.
right, man.
Man, give Nibellion a presentation on how to get his bread up. Like, hook a brother up, hit him up in the DM.
I'll say this though. Shout out to Nibellion. One time he shared my tweet out about remember that first PlayStation showcase?
Yeah.
It was being televised on ESPN, so I recorded it real quick. I was like, "Oh, PlayStation showcase gonna be big because it's televised on ESPN." And yo, he shared that joint up. Yo, that joint went up like view wise. It was like almost at 1 million. Yo, it was like a 500.
Shout
600.
out.
Damn.
Shout out to the
That's
Billion.
because of
man.
the Billion
Hey,
tweet.
he'll be missed, man. Hopefully he
Rest
comes
in
back,
peace.
man. You know what I think?
Yeah,
if he's on his
He gonna come
downtime,
back because he gonna want that extra. See that he walked away from $3 grand.
You're
A
not
month.
leaving that.
He gonna be like, sorry guys, y'all about it.
Yeah.
You convinced me.
yeah, I think he just needs to meet the right people who are into social media growth and get mentorship from them. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
I
I
agree.
think he's missing that. I don't think he talked to the right person that can really strategize, because he's, you know, on Twitter he's big, and I think when you get that big, you need to reach out for strategists that can help you.
Yeah, but
You know, it's kinda
but
like-
see,
it's kinda like you make-
you know what a social media strategist is gonna say.
What?
The very first thing, because I got like social media strategists that work in at my job. The first thing they gonna say, he needs to have a picture of himself on his profile.
Well, you know, but,
People are not gonna work with
That's
him
true.
if they can't
yeah,
physically,
but at least
if they
he
can't
yeah.
see who he is.
He needs to hear it though, because it's kind of like, all right,
Yeah,
you know, if you have a job and you make 50,000 a year, 60, 70, even 100,000, sure, you handle your own money. But let's say like you win the lotto for 10 million, you better not go to a lotto office to collect on it. You better go to your bank, tell them I need to talk to a financial planner. Someone help me, because you're gonna fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? And that's him. Like, in the beginning, yeah, you can, you know, finagle your own shit. But once you have a huge crowd, you want an expert that can be honest with you. And you know, maybe he needed someone to tell him that. Like, bro, you're not going to get what you want until they see your face. Like, would you give your money to somebody you never met? Like, you need to know the person. And he might be like, oh, shit. And then at that point, he could say, I'm not willing to do that. Okay, fine. Then don't cry when you don't get the money or the subscribers you want. Because then that's on you, you know? But I think he just needed to talk to somebody, a professional that can guide him and mentor him and get him to where he wanted, you know? Or at least tell him the
Yeah, give
cold
him a
hard truth.
different perspective. A different perspective. That's what people mostly need. Just
Yeah,
a different
bro.
perspective.
I think everything we said here, we should be his social media.
Yeah, real
because-
talk.
Yeah,
New York,
Because-
New York Incorporated.
yeah, like yo, bro. As soon as I hit 10K followers on Twitter, I'm applying for that super follow button.
Listen,
You
so
think-
I got 12K.
Yeah, fact.
I got 12K right now. And just like to what Persona said, I got 12K on Twitter, but that doesn't translate to 12K on YouTube. It's like my YouTube is like 7,400. So it is
Yeah.
a two different thing.
Shit,
Now-
you
now-
should be applying for that. You should be applying for that super follow too.
But the thing
Well,
is,
it's not gonna hurt you.
But the thing is, what the fuck I'm gonna say?
It's passive.
Like, what the fuck
nothing,
am I
that's
gonna
it.
say?
It's passive income.
Bro.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
like-
just-
it's optional.
Even if you're getting $400, that's $400 extra
I'm just be
dollars.
like, I don't know what to
towards
say.
games,
Like-
bills, or whatever.
I just
Listen,
I just make fun of
it's-
Xbox. Like, people gonna pay me
Listen,
for that?
listen, P-Rock. Listen,
That's
yeah. Listen. Here's the thing, P-Rock. People know you. They know how you look like. They can relate to some of your things, right? Think of it like this: we're both playing like a game, like let's say Call of Duty, right? And I bought a skin off of a store. You don't have to buy it, but we can still play the game together.
Yeah.
On Twitter, someone doesn't have to super follow you, and that's fine. But there's gonna be a few people that rock with you, pun intended, and they will super follow you.
No, I don't know. So I mean, I gotta figure something
So-
out. I just gotta maybe step up my Xbox bashing jokes. Like, hey, if you super follow me, I'm gonna really give these Xbox to work. And I got like, but it's my opinion. Anyway, yo, let's do our outros and stuff like that so we can get the guys going. I want to respect their time. You understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna, you
7
know,
out of 10.
you know, 10 out of 10. We're gonna start out with, of course, Persona.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, this was a great show, great conversation. P-Rock, appreciate the invite. I always try to listen in on Tuesdays, man. And yeah, shout out to the chat too. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the stream out, man. And you know, it's me, your boy Persona, man. I appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All right. Also, the other half of the best PlayStation podcast. What's up, PlayStation? Every Saturday, Jay Barry.
Yo, man, great show, P Rock. Just know when we all enable that super follow,
yo,
y'all know the vibe.
I'm gonna start today.
Yes,
I'm gonna start
sir.
today.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Yo, in celebration of God of War, November is going to be no shave Vember.
Oh shit.
So
I can't
wish,
can't
man, I
participate.
can't grow facial hair, man.
I can't grow facial
I
hair.
ain't going to be shaving for the whole month until I beat
wish.
God of War.
I
You feel
can't-
me?
Oh.
So
I have to retire
damn.
first before. But you
Hey,
best,
yo, real
like-
talk.
you
before
best believe
shave
when
it
I
up, you gotta
retire-
post a picture. You gotta post a picture.
might do a
Not
little trim
shaved.
up. You know what I mean? A little
Yo,
trim up.
Nah, you gotta show them what it is.
yo, I want that shit.
Office. I ain't gonna be woofing in the
Yo,
office.
make that
I
shit
got
look
you, I
like
got you.
ZZ Top. I want the whole shebang. If you're gonna do it, do it all the way.
Chill.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you got Jay Barry looking like, you know, a kung fu master. He's gonna be like this.
I'm gonna look like J. Cole after I beat
shit.
God of War.
You know, have that LeBron James beard.
Nah, we doing no shave. Anybody do that?
No nut
Everybody
November.
do that.
Oh,
Everybody
nah,
do
none of that. None of that.
Oh shit, they already put that in chat. All right.
We jackrabbits out here.
But anyway, man, those two fellas, listen, chat. You probably already know most of us in the same community, but if you haven't experienced What's Up PlayStation every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, yo, you guys really gotta check it out. It is, and I know it sounds like I'm joking or whatever, but I honestly feel that is the best PlayStation podcast because these two really hit what it means to be a PlayStation gamer. They talk about the games, and it's not just the AAA stuff that we see every day. They talk about niche titles, Japanese titles,
Yep.
both third party and
And
first
they go
party.
in depth.
Yo, there's like, because of these two, like, I'm about to be broke. Because I'm like, there's so much content they talk about. A lot of the content they personally play, they give their opinions on. You know, they give their opinions on future prospects. Their podcast is well organized. They have a great flow. I'm telling you, man, if you're a PlayStation gamer, or if you're about to buy a PlayStation, let's say you're an Xbox gamer, but you really want to know what PlayStation's about,
no.
and you're tired of my bullshit, because all I do is make fun of Xbox. If you want a real PlayStation podcast, I promise you, Jay Barry and Gaming Personas podcast is a pure PlayStation podcast, talking about the games, talking about in depth. They will talk about, there is no game too little or too big to talk about. I'm telling you, man. I learned so much about the content PlayStation has. It's ridiculous how much shit is on there. It's crazy. Check out their podcast. I'm telling you, best PlayStation podcast.
Appreciate that,
Period.
man. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
You know,
I really
they need to have
appreciate that, man,
1,000
for real.
Patreons. Easy,
That's
bro.
it.
It's true, bro. Yo,
That's the thing I like
no
the
cap.
most about their podcast, because they talk about so many games, either big or small, that they talk about games that I'm interested in, and I'm like, oh shit, I never knew that
I'm
game.
telling
was,
you, man.
You know,
That's why I call
Yeah.
bullshit when they be like, oh, is there any PlayStation podcast that really talk about games? I can't find them. I'm like, lies. You are a liar. You're just saying that to talk shit. You know what
Bro,
I'm
their
saying?
opening is talking about games. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally.
Yeah, let me tell you something. There aren't even Xbox podcasts that does what you guys do for their
Yeah.
own brand. They're not even to that level. Like, I'm being honest. There isn't, when you think about it, there isn't a
That's
lot
true.
of podcasts that
They ain't
doesn't
got no
do-
games, P, right?
Listen, no, I'm gonna
Yo,
call it
man.
how it is. You guys literally talk about the games like in depth, big or small.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
like, holy shit, these guys, like, you really got a great formula that, you know, and I wish you guys the best. So I'm telling you guys, if you are an honest neutral that really wants a PlayStation podcast and know about PlayStation and the games, what's up PlayStation? You know, and if that don't fit
Yep.
your appetite, then nothing will. You're just bullshitting. Proc Eastwood,
man,
Dreamcast guy,
appreciate
is a
that, man.
goonie and he got followers. Yeah, I mean that dude, I don't know. He's showing his bird
Yo,
chest.
I
my
mean,
man.
a bunch of Xbox Goonies, and they got followers
That's
too.
it. Got the greenies out there. All right, hey, call me
Yeah.
Jay. Man, do your
Hey,
outro,
thanks for
man.
having me. It was fun as hell, as always. This one's especially funny because we were cracking a lot of jokes.
Oh,
But yeah, fun as hell. Can't wait for the next one. You know, chat, thank you for being here. Thank you for being cool. I read some of you guys' comments and I say it out loud, you know, shouting you guys out. And yeah, hit the like button on your way out and subscribe for more.
all right.
Please.
Why Extreme never returned back, P, right?
Oh shit, man! I'm trying to think. He's like, yo, let me sit
Oh,
this one out,
man.
bro. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, yo, that podcast,
Yo, that
I was
shit
playing
was-
Asterigos. That shit had me
That
rolling.
shit was
I in the
wild.
chat like,
He's
that
not
was
gonna hold
crazy.
out gaming. They're gonna
What the
prioritize. I'm like,
fuck
oh
are
man,
you
this guy's
talking
in the
about?
dirt. And you know what's funny? Like the very next day, I'm like,
Yo,
bro, I'm telling
that
you,
shit
man.
was crazy. I was listening to that show like, yo,
Like-
no
like-
PlayStation.
Like, oh my god, like this is wild,
going on
bro.
there, man?
I'm like, bro, like, yo.
They was mad at P Rock that episode.
Like, yo,
Yes,
no.
sir.
So, like, yeah, everybody, yo, and he was like, nah. And then the very next day, Naughty Dog came out with that interview. Oh yeah, now we're adopting PC into our play.
Jeez, bro.
Same conversation.
Yo, like, I literally said that, yeah, sure. You know, Naughty Dog in the beginning, they only had to worry about consoles. But now that their boss told them, yo, PC's part of our ecosystem, well, the developers are going to change their strategy. It doesn't make sense to still be like, we hear you, Sony, but yeah, we're only going to focus on console and then you guys can figure out how to work on PC. They're not going to do that. They're going to make that environment easier to make game development easier across PlayStation and PC. And literally, when Naughty Dog came out with that statement, I'm like, here we go.
You gonna see a lot. You gonna see more to
Just like I
first party
said.
say that.
Just like I said.
Yep.
Just like I said, bro.
I'm telling you, they easing into that day and date. I'm telling you, give it like another 4 years, 3 years.
And what?
It's gonna be day and day.
Yeah. And the point I was trying to make is, you got to look at it from the industry as a professional side. I don't think these guys took Lean Six Sigma, or I don't think a lot of these guys really know. Like, businesses trying to make things efficient because it saves money. So developers, as professionals, they're going to try to make this environment as easy as possible for the transition between different platforms. They're not going to make their life harder because I got to appease the fanboys. No! They're going to adopt multi-platform strategies. In the beginning, sure, Naughty Dog didn't have to worry about that because all they had to worry about was the console. But now their boss gave them new guidance. When your boss gives you new guidance, you're going to say, yeah, I hear you, but yeah, fuck you. I'm not doing what you want me to do. No. Your boss tells you, this is what we want. You either do it or you quit your job and work somewhere else. Those are your two choices. But if your boss is telling you, yo, we making games for PC. All right. Let me restructure my environment to accommodate that strategy. And that's why I was trying to get to him. But and that's why I gave him the scenario. If I'm your boss and I told you, hey, yeah, this game's on PS5, but a year later, I need this game on PC. And he's like, well, I'll still make it for PS5. Well, I'm going to fire you. You're fired. Like, no. You see, and he didn't get it. I was like, man, this dude. But anyway, I'm out of here. Hey, you guys are good. Thank you for rocking out. This is your only friend, these YouTube streets, PorterRock77. I hope you guys, you have a good night. We'll see you next week. Again, for all the new subscribers that subscribe within 30 days, I apologize if you couldn't participate in the chat. But again, I locked the chat to just subscribers over 30 days simply because I wanted to prevent anybody from creating a new account, jumping in, and do a God of War spoiler. So that's it. So next week's podcast will have the same restriction. But then at that point, God of War will be out on Wednesday. We'll enjoy it. The following podcast will go back to its normal parameters, right? But anyway, you guys have a good night. Thank you so much. You guys take care, man.
That's smart because they were definitely gaming.
Oh, yeah.
That shit.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought